have a theme song.
Toys, 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 manly toys, 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 toys,
and TV and movies too.
I never fixed my beard. It's like Stillwell.
Welcome to the Toy Duo, where we come to you every week and talk about action figures and fixing washers and dryers and stuff like that. Anyways, if you're in the chat, you can join and become a channel member. You get some custom badges, emojis. I got a community post. I have kind of neglected that a little bit. I need to get back on that. I'm going to start releasing all my videos early to members. If you're also in the chat, make sure you ask questions and comment, because whether you're a member or not, we like to put that up there. And anyways, I'm sorry. What?
For 1 second.
Yeah, for 1 second. Well, less than a second. Anyways, I just want to introduce everybody who's here. It's not Santa, but I don't know him. Parentheses Rick, unparentheses.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
With the Santa beard on, we got the just
Lee Preston beard.
That I did not. It's going to differently. Incredible. Speed Century down in the corner wearing his Christmas Yoda hat. And of course, it's Danta Claus down here in the bottom. I think I'm the only one that did a not Christmas.
Yeah, why don't you change your name?
I wouldn't know what to put.
We'll give you 5 minutes for it.
It's not that hard to make something up every single time you come on a different live stream.
It's pretty difficult because you actually have to manipulate the keyboard and type stuff.
I do have to press a button, or two.
Yeah. All right, so let's say hi to some people in the chat. We got Mod Extra Games. He said he was first. He also said boom.
Yes.
Like dropping a bomb. And
he's like boom first.
Yeah. Oh, okay, boom, like drop the mic.
Yeah.
I said he was early. Rick at Left Coast Graphics is third. Super John is fourth.
No, apparently I was last.
And now he's the last one in the chat. You got Gerard Kane. He is here. Jonathan Redmond is saying Merry Christmas. Is Christmas coming up?
I think it was yesterday, actually.
Okay, I missed it then.
You missed it.
Connor's got the Dublin Bus 27B. So two of them didn't show up. So he's stranded somewhere downtown. Let's see. Is there where we come for the white goods raffle and toy? Oh, yes. Okay, because we were talking about toilet paper and what was it? Like the end of the world, right? That's the end of the world.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mr. B.
Do you think that like Charmin Extra Soft with lotion would be worth a lot more in the apocalypse than just like the standard paper? Or are people going to be so hard up for toilet paper it's not going to matter what they get? You know,
at least the pack of smokes for lotion TP, right?
Yeah. That would be a premium.
I think
so. You could trade like 3 rolls of Charmin for a new Ferrari in the apocalypse, right? Is that what you're getting at?
Or a pack of smokes, important stuff.
What was that show that was on Peacock with the guy who plays the Falcon and Winter Soldier, where he's driving around in the car? Yeah, what was he trading for his services? Because wasn't that what he was transporting, like toilet paper from one town to the other?
Yeah, was it really?
They would give him something in return. So he's transporting the goods from one city to the other, and
sometimes it was like innocuous stuff, like toilet paper or something, right?
Really random. Yeah.
Huh.
I need you to get these.
I might not have seen this
oranges.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, it was. Waze. He liked that show, so he talked about it a lot. But I think none of us watched it.
It's a Peacock exclusive. It was actually pretty good. It was a little slow starting because if you know the game, if you know the Twisted Metal game,
right?
Where the heck are they coming out of left field with this at the beginning? But it was entertaining enough to keep you involved until it developed its plot. I mean, it's one of those where the whole first season is like it might as well have been one huge first episode to get the show rolling.
Yes.
Oh, it's a series, right? Not a movie.
It was a series. It was tough for me because I think I watched like the 1.5 episodes, and I was like, okay, it was like there used to be a show on called Sledgehammer. Did you guys ever remember that? Was like a police show, but the guy had the gigantic.
That was a
You know,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was like a slapstick police comedy. It was a little bit too much. Like at least the
I
Brooklyn
remember that,
Nine-Nine
yeah.
was a little bit pulled in compared to,
Man, I
think
forgot
just
about that.
too much comedy for me. Mr.
Yeah.
B is here. He's saying, John, he's going to PayPal. You need your PayPal info.
I
John's
just sent-
PayPal is Rick.
I just sent it. I sent it to Mr. B. I got a Crocmaster from Mr. B, so I'm going to send him a Croc.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
Nice.
They were $11.99 at Ross, so I
Yeah, I had-
grabbed.
I was never able to find one. in store.
Do I need to go grab the last one? There was one more over there. Do I need to
No,
go grab it?
because
Okay.
with shipping and stuff like that, it's basically full price.
Whatever. Come on,
Yeah.
it's gonna be like $5-10.
It's
I guess you're right. Then it'll be $21.99.
not worth it because I mean
Whatever.
the figures to me is just okay, but the crocodile is the
The
only
Croc's
thing.
what you want. Yeah.
That's what.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But I don't know.
Arr.
Mr. B might not have ever got the. I don't think he ever found them at all. So he might need both still. So.
Yeah.
Paid
Well, if you need it,
$79 for mine.
that's
Oh
fine.
yeah.
So
What's
what's
his-
the best? What's the best deal you guys have found so far?
Oh my gosh! So the what was it the other day? It was a 6-inch Joker from the DC line for
$1.99.
$1.99. Yeah,
That was
$1.99.
Mortal Kombat, right?
the Mortal Kombat Joker. Yeah,
Oh, where was that?
great.
Ross.
Ross at Ross.
Was it a
It's
Ross?
awesome,
Mhm.
awesome looking figure. Yeah.
What's the best deal you found?
Paid like $100 and something for this. That's a deal, right?
Yeah, right. I got two of
Yeah,
those.
like full price.
I bought two
Full
of
price.
those.
No, I got our dollar store here. Like we don't have Ross or Rachel or any of those stores, but we got Dollarama.
Right.
Ross and Rachel.
So they got a bunch of waves of the Marvel retros,
Oh,
$5,
Nice.
Unpunched.
and a couple weeks ago they had a bunch of waves of, or not a bunch of waves. They had the Mando retros for $5. So I grabbed another set of those for customs and whatnot. They're pretty for $5. You can't turn down a $5 toy. I can't.
Jonathan.
Vern, you gotta pay Jonathan. You gotta pay
You gotta pay
Jonathan
him
from
to watch. What about you, Dan? What's the best deal you found?
I don't know. I think it probably was that Crocmaster. I mean, because it
Yeah.
wasn't it $40 or $39.99?
I think they were close to $40. Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
$11.99.
and more in other countries, like what Rick's dealing with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
so, yeah,
69
yeah.
here.
I gotta say, I think it was those basketball hoops for $2.99.
There you go. Yeah, those things. Yeah.
Yeah, please. put
I
one
never
of
even
those
saw them.
in my box, Vern. I need to start a
What?
box.
Okay, yeah, I'll throw it in there.
Those starting lineups were not even available in Canada, and like we invented freaking basketball. Like, no,
Come on,
we don't need
that.
you guys did not, and you didn't even invent hockey.
Merry Christmas.
No, but we
everyone.
invented basketball.
No,
James Naismith is his name.
I invented
Google it.
basketball in my backyard.
No, that's badminton.
Let's see, Thousands Ghost is here. He's saying Merry Christmas to all.
Go see.
And to all a good night. No, I hope you all have a great holiday and wonderful new year. I'd like to second that sentiment. So if you're watching the show, Christmas is coming up, and I hope everybody has a great holiday and stuff like that. And thanks for watching the Toy Duo team this week, and we'll see you next week. I'm just kidding.
Bye.
Have a good holiday.
Oh my gosh, let's see. Mod Extra is saying we're just a Scrooge short of a full cast for Christmas Carol on stream today. We've got all 4 of the ghosts.
So who's the Christmas? So Rick would be Christmas past because he's so into retros, right?
Right.
What
So
other
wait,
ghosts are there?
We got 3
President.
ghosts, and then Jacob. Is that what we're?
The ghost of Christmas future. Is that what it is? So we need a future. So would you be the Dan? Would Dan be the ghost of Christmas future because he's the youngest? Are you the youngest, Dan?
I don't think so.
Yeah, probably.
Is Rick younger than you?
Oh, yeah.
He is. He's younger than me, actually.
Like
Yeah.
10 years. Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
guys
he
just
is.
kept your hair well, huh?
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody watch this Zack Snyder film?
Last night, in fact. Do you want to know something funny? Here we go. Here's the story. So mom saw the trailer and she said she wanted to. Mom saw the trailer and she said she wanted to see it. So we sat down and watched it last night. I did not tell her anything about it. She knows nothing of the history, nothing of the buildup, nothing about this film. She just asked, "Is it new?" And I said, "Yeah, it just came out." So she sits down. Half hour into the film, she goes, "Boy, this is really a ripoff of Star Wars, isn't it?" She goes, "Well, instead of a farm boy, it was a farm girl. The evil empire sent their Darth Vader after him, except in this one, Darth Vader's wearing a Nazi uniform and a tie." And then she goes, and then they go to a cantina and hire a smuggler to get a ship. He's like,
and then they get accosted at the bar, have to have a fight with them.
Yeah. So she's like,
It was ball grabbing.
Oh, and then they meet the pilot there.
yeah.
I liked it. Like for
The pilot of the ship they use for the rest of the movie, you know?
Jackson. I liked it for a few reasons. It was something that nobody knew nothing about. Like we don't know much of a backstory or any.
What do you
kind
mean?
of
I've
lore.
seen Star Wars. I know exactly what's happening.
So it was original in that kind of ways. That there's no kind of history behind it. But so after watching it, I'm like, okay, now I want to see the second part before I give a fair kind of review of it, because we only got to know one character really.
Hold on, Rick.
The
Can I tell you the backstory? Okay, so that the guy who's in charge right now was a young general, and he was manipulating the thoughts and minds of like a whole group of politicians and stuff like that while the real king was ruling. And that real king had all his soldiers and stuff protecting and making the galaxy peaceful. And this guy was off creating his own army on some water planet. But it was a bunch of, they were cloning people to make them soldiers. Yeah. And then there'll be like an uprising. And then this dude that's half
mechanical. Well, the king already died. The king already did die. Yeah.
The half mechanical dude is going to end up getting like burned in a volcano at some point, and then that's the backstory to this story.
Yeah, no, I dig it. Like it was a cool mix between,
when they already mentioned. The funny thing is they already mentioned all that in the movie in this first part, Vern. They talked all about it. And the guy, the senator guy who even overthrew him, killed the king and took his place, just like Palpatine. It was like, what the hell?
It was cool. It had zero comedy, so that kind of sucked a little bit. But it was visually pretty stunning. Like there's a lot of it that was obviously like the stagecraft or blue screen, green screen. I don't love that kind of crap as much as real action stuff, but it was visually stunning. It was not as visually stunning as the Godzilla -1, which I thought was really visually stunning in the way it was made. I'm just I wish it was freaking not dubbed. Like, I hate reading movies. Like, I don't mind it, but when it's a movie that I want to look at the left of the screen and the right and see what's going on, and I got to look at the bottom and read, like, dialogue every second.
Godzilla.
Oh, Godzilla. Okay.
I'm with
you. I was like,
that was cool. That looked awesome. I was very pleased with how that was made. It was old school looking.
You're talking about Godzilla?
Yeah, -1.
So we're done talking about the Rebel Moon. Okay.
Well, I wanted to say something else. All joking aside, all Star Wars references aside, I thought it was a good movie to sit and watch it at evening, especially with family. We had fun watching it. I just think that Zack Snyder he didn't do himself any favors by making it that close to Star Wars. I mean, it was ridiculously it was like he remade Star Wars. It really was. It was like he just line for line, scene for scene redid Star Wars. And it's up to a certain point. There's one point where there's a little twist. In this version, when they're on Cloud City, there's a little bit of a twist. Because Mom even said that. She goes, "Oh, now they're at Cloud City. Look at this."
I think there was more like Dune, Sucker Punch,
There was,
Batman,
there's some Dune, Sucker
like
Punch.
just more of
yeah.
every other movie than Star Wars to me. Like, to me, there's no, dark helmeted Vader type of character or
Yeah, they left him a human. in
Yeah,
this
yeah,
one.
because they put
Oh,
skin
no, they
over
had
his
like Nazi
robotic.
guys. Like much like Sucker Punch, it was kind of like Nazis on the moon or
No, but the
whatever
thing is,
that the theme was.
At the end, when they peeled that guy back and he's robotic underneath,
Yeah,
then you realize, okay, they didn't need to put him in a helmet.
he's more machine than man now. Yeah.
Right.
So it was quite interesting, and like I don't want to throw the word original out there, but the characters were all original. Like their costumes were. I thought the costumes could have been a little
Terrible.
better,
Yeah,
but I
They
liked
were-
how it was like a little mix of like Vikings and Spartacus and Lord of the Rings and sci-fi, like all kind of together. So it was kind of cool in that regards.
I'll
But
say
you
too, the costumes confused my mom because she was like, if the bad guys are supposed to be Nazis, does that mean that the bad guys are from Earth? And I'm like, no, I don't think Earth is in this movie. She's
Well,
like,
definitely
"Then why-"
Ireland is in the movie and South Africa is in the movie because
Yeah, it kept confusing her
70% of the
because
cast is South African. It's pretty cool, I thought, but
it kept
Was she
confusing her
ready-
because
was
she
she
was
ready
like,
for-
they're
I'm wrong. It's like you keep saying that they're part of a certain group, but they're militaristic, right? And it's not like they were trying to wipe out, one race.
no,
or
they were
whatever.
going to
They wanna
wipe out
be-
everybody. Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're like the Empire, but they're like,
yeah.
That's what it was. They were because that was his pitch. It was a Star Wars movie.
yeah,
But
it was an old army. It's an army, so they put them in those old kind of. They look more like Prussian or Russian type army uniforms to me. Those old fashioned, pre-World War I type deals.
his look,
But it was so.
his looked
but
like
it was,
very Nazi inspired though. His the way like he had the colors and the way
it was
all,
it was the hat with the actual like eagle and stuff on it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
that's what it was. It was
Nobody
that's-
else uses an eagle for a symbol of authority in the military.
That
you
was my
recognize the voice of the robot.
Wait a minute. Oh,
And-
General
I
Hawk has
love
an
the-
eagle on his
Yeah,
belt
that was
buckle.
pretty cool.
I loved
That
it.
was
I loved the
that was
robot.
only thing was like I saw it immediately. Like once it started, I immediately saw the Star Wars pitch because it was
Well, you didn't hear me, Waze. My mom had no clue about the background, nothing. I sat her down. Her and I watched it fresh. She knew nothing about it. 30 minutes in, when they meet the smuggler and they get the ship in the cantina, she goes, "Wait a minute, this is Star Wars." There's instead of a farm boy, she goes, "It's a farm girl." The
Yeah.
Empire's in it. She goes, "There's the Empire. Those are if that
Well,
guy's
that-
Darth
that was-
Vader." She's like,
that was the pitch,
and
and that's what I got out of it. Was basically like so. Originally, I'm guessing his pitch for this was that it was going to be a planet.
reboot Star Wars.
Well, no, it was going to be a planet on the outer rim that Jane Iden Versio. That's who the character is, the main girl from Star Wars Battlefront. So it's her story to the T. That's my guess. Is that was his original pitch? Was this is during the reign of the Empire, and you were going to show Eden Versio's story, and they passed on it. So he just made little tweaks to it, and like this is what we got. So like
Yeah,
that was
but
my
I don't-
problem with the movie. I don't think he
immediately
did.
saw his
I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think he did I don't think he did himself any favors by making it so close to Star Wars. Because that's
don't
all
either.
she did. She sat there on the couch and then she's like, "Well, and there's this scene. Oh, that's this
Yeah,
scene.
it's-
Oh, and now she's like,
Let
now
me
we're
ask
at
you
Cloud.
something, John.
She's
John,
like, now we're at Cloud
John.
City. This is Cloud City.
John.
Oh, okay, now we're here. And
when you guys first started and they showed that mountain behind the town, did your mom go, "Oh, that's the Matterhorn"?
no, she doesn't know that. Yeah.
That was my only gripe with it though, that it was very evident to me like what his pitch was originally.
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
I had a hard time putting that out of my mind. It almost felt like I was watching a Star Wars fan film because it was just like
Exactly.
oh,
It was too
Yeah.
hard
this is all
put
this
out of
is
your
all,
mind,
like
because
Actually, there's
John
1,000
said,
movies that are more
scene
like
for
Star Wars.
scene, he just remade Star Wars. Is all
he
did.
just took like what he had originally planned and just slightly tweaked it to make it different. Like he flipped the lightsaber colors, like little tweaks.
Here's the
to it.
funny part,
But
Waze,
it was
if
just
that was his original story and he wrote in that cantina scene,
yeah.
that to me is like, that no originality. Is that what the guy?
Well,
said?
and I guess
Why is it a
my
bar?
guess was that was supposed to be like the trope, and this was supposed to be like somewhere in the outer rim. So we were going to see like a poor, more barren area of the Republic that we've never seen, like somewhere past Tatooine, somewhere probably like on the edges of unknown
Yeah.
space, like where Eli Vanto's from, and like that's basically what you were going to see. You were going to see Eden Versio leaving the Empire, going into hiding, and having to come back to be, fight basically against her father. And like they just tweaked the story to make it fit for this. And that was my only gripe with it. Like I found it okay to watch, but yeah, that was my heart.
It was entertaining. It was entertaining and worth a watch. But I don't think he did himself any favors by keeping it so close. But the other thing too is I think some of the clothing and the technology.
$40 million.
Oh, of course, yeah. But I think some of the clothing and technology was off too, because we were sitting here and she goes, when they went in the house and the door opened by itself and they had the lighting and computers in there, she went, wait a minute, if they've got that technology, why are they plowing the fields with a horse and a hand plow that you have to walk behind?
And
you know what
I
mean? Like
when the guys were saying we're going to give you robots to do this work, and then the leader of the town was like, "Oh no, working with the soil is how we're one with the land."
We like
they're force wielders. They were all going to be force sensitive. They had to be one with the land.
automatic doors.
Oh, that's Excalibur, right? You and the land shall be one.
That there was more horses than there was like robots.
Those weren't horses. Those
Yeah.
were rockhead.
That was the point though. Apparently the robots were basically like the army for the king, and then when the king
they were battle droids for the king.
And like he was the coolest part of the whole movie. Like I wanted to see more of him, and like he's literally in the movie for 10 minutes, and like you see him at the antlers and the cape and stuff, and you're like,
he's going to be in part 2. He's going to be in part 2 a lot more.
Yeah, like the same amount of screen time as Balin's skull. Like, hey, let's put it in there for 3 minutes.
So like I talked about it with Jono and Brian in our group chat, but do you guys think that blonde girl that was in the village is the princess?
No.
No,
I don't think
and
so.
the reason why I say that is because we haven't. I think they would have connected her with Korra a little.
Well, they showed that scene though that they were.
I think that she's
on that planet. They were on that planet, and she was doing what the magic she was doing.
That's right. She was the one. She was the only one who did, because people were asking me how much do they use the Force, and I was like, I don't think you saw it that much, if at all. And then I was like, oh yeah, that girl had it. She brought the thing back to life. Yeah.
But you only get that scene of them, and that was supposed to be right before the assassination or the killing or siege, whatever they called it in the movie. So like that's what I was wondering, if like she ended up taking the girl instead of killing her, and that's why she was hiding out on this planet, and that little girl is the princess.
I think she crashed, but I think that like if it was, they would have like lived together.
Unless you wanted to protect her and like act like she was nothing, just a innocent little peasant girl.
I think as a peasant person, maybe she's just going to be the one that makes the connection with the robot. Maybe has whatever this inherent ability.
The Force is, like maybe she just got the same thing.
It's going to be like a ray, like kind of like an offshoot. That's what I think. I think it would be too much to make it like, oh, this is your long lost heir to the throne.
Yeah, I had a problem with bootleg Cassian Andor too. Like he annoyed me.
Oh yeah, he was totally.
I was like, how are you going to cast a dude that looks exactly like Andor and have him
play the same part? You're the same thing.
Like also looks like you and looks like Dan and looks like 50% of like white males in America. Like,
but you know what I mean? He looked exactly like he was bootleg Cassian Andor, and it was just like, man, like this is Rogue One fan film, like
well, right down to the big bell, because what was the point of ringing that bell? I mean, all the hunters had already come back, right? So everybody should have been in town. They were like literally 5 feet away from.
Yeah, she didn't run far.
One, it wasn't very loud anyway, so even if you were on the other side of the Matterhorn, you wouldn't have heard it, right? And
then dude comes walking like 5 feet over and just like looks up, like you didn't see that from where you were standing.
Yeah, where you were before.
Dan, did you watch
the other question?
No, I'm not. So I'm lost.
The other question we had was, okay, so the girl with the red lightsabers, okay.
Mm-hmm.
They were swords.
They were swords.
Yeah. Swords that just lit up.
She fights this 10-minute battle with a giant spider creature, almost dies, and then she goes, "Oh yeah, you know what? These light up red with special power, and then she
Yeah,
just kills it.
I didn't see
And you're
how
like-
they just all of a sudden lit up
But
red.
I'm like, wait a minute! If you can light them up with red superpowers, why didn't you do it at the
Well, maybe
beginning of the
they're
fight?
limited, John. Maybe they're limited to like 5 minutes of power. You play
Then
video
do it in
games.
the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, you don't even see who's like swinging the blade in the first one. Like all of a sudden, you just see like the blue swoosh come out, and like you're like, who even ignited that or had it? And like,
Yeah,
I don't know. I think him coming out too and saying how like, oh, the director's cut's a totally different movie and it's rated
Then why
R.
not?
And like,
Then
why not just
have
that?
that?
It's a
Yeah,
different movie. It might
exactly.
even be in black and white.
I saw
Yeah,
him
why-
see that there's he has something special in the credits. But
Well, like
since
what they're doing.
I watched it not Netflix. So
Yeah.
was there an extra credit scene? I didn't see it.
It's just like it's a little teaser for like the next one
for the
part
next one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that
Yeah,
was
I
all it
haven't
was.
seen
Yeah.
that.
But
Yeah.
also like
Yeah.
now what I heard the plan is I guess February they're gonna release the director's cut of it, and then April is part 2. So like they're gonna space it out, and that's how they're gonna milk this out till April to try to get people to keep like talking about this and keep being into it. And I was like,
Everybody wants to know
what an
why your
odd
screen looks like
gimmick.
you're in a sauna. It's because he used that Charmin with the lotion.
I'm
to
on the
Wow.
crappy
skin.
I'm on the crappy laptop computer because I'm at the
You
house.
know that you got that Charmin that has the lotion, and you rubbed it
Yeah,
on
I
the
used-
lens.
I use Charmin with lotion to wipe the lens. Yeah, no, I'm on the crappy computer because I'm at the
John-
house and
John didn't
I
get,
forgot to bring the HD camera up.
John didn't get his Botox this week, so he put on.
And now I want to see Eden Versio in like Mando or one of these things,
Yeah.
just for Star Wars to be like, yeah, this is the story that he took.
Okay, hey, Waze, we went through this earlier, like before you jumped in. I was asking what was the best deal that anybody has gotten on a figure or something. What's your best deal?
Ross DDs, anything
Like
Amazon
this-
sales?
Like it's this month or what? Are
Yeah,
we
yeah. Last
Something
month
you
or
found
two.
on sale or something you found on clearance, something. What was the best deal that you got?
So one would probably be the Cobra Viper pack you sent me. That was
Mhm.
that was a good one.
Well,
but
how
then
much were those at the Ross stores?
15.
15? Wow, that's a really good deal. Yeah,
I got there was a 30% off Disney stuff with Target the other day.
that's
and
right.
I managed to find Green Goblin in Target, so I used the Disney coupon on him. That was a pretty good deal.
The carded
not the-
one or the box?
the new
movie
one,
The movie
new-
one? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I got like 20 bucks off that. Like it was
Holy
it,
crap.
it was only like I think what normally 50. It was knocked
And that's
down.
brand new, right? That's just been out, basically.
Yeah.
Brand new. No, Target's reselling like used stuff now.
Are they?
I mean, like only been I mean, it was only released a
John
couple
got
months
used
months
stuff
or so,
not too long ago.
yeah.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
I think in recent, like that would probably be the Viper 3-pack because that was
Right.
probably the best deal, like value wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they basically are with the Python Patrol, right?
Python. I was
Yeah.
hoping to find like whatever that new Python one that they had at Ross that I started seeing pictures of, but like
The Mach-
I went to 3 different Rosses now in the last couple of days, and they are like pretty much wiped out now.
I
It's
checked
like,
I checked the one yesterday and it was empty. And like
Yeah,
I don't have them close to me, so they're
I've been
closest-
buying everything when I go in the
like
stores.
3 minutes.
Yeah,
Hopefully at
I
least
never
one
I
day
never
you-
found any books at any of my Rosses, John, and I was looking for that.
Really?
Yeah, and then finally found the book section today in the one Ross I went to this morning, and of course that book wasn't there. Those
Okay.
that
Yeah.
couldn't find it. So oh well.
I got 2 copies of it so far.
I saw Ghost too, 1000th Ghost. He's been going like every day and just picking up whatever he finds and just
Yeah.
you know.
Well, he had a video on Burlington Coat Factory too.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
yeah,
See,
yeah, he
I
can-
checked them too, but I haven't. None of mine have anything like. And like even the Rosses here don't have what you guys in Florida and you on the West Coast are getting. Like you guys are getting way more surplus of stuff than these Rosses are getting.
Yeah. I actually
Okay.
considered I'm considering the one near me has 3 or 4 of the Castle Grayskull from the animated show.
Yes,
Like
I saw
the
those.
weird the weird one. And
Yeah.
they got it for 20 bucks and I'm like man,
Oh,
I
wow.
don't really like that show, but
it's a good
For-
background piece.
but
Yeah.
for
For your
20
20
yeah,
But
yeah, and I'm like, for $20, it might just be worth buying one to hang on to just in case. Because
Yeah.
who knows? The kids seem to like that show. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the little kid He-Man show.
I know what
You
you're
know,
talking
and-
about. I picked one of
yeah.
those He-Mans up at Goodwill for 99 cents a week
And-
ago.
So I'm just like, man, it might not hurt just to grab one and hang on to it for 10
you
years.
might
and
as
see what
well. I
happens.
mean, even just like you might as well. Like if you see the stuff there and you can afford it, I would pick
Because
it
it's
up.
a big, I mean, it's a massive play set. You know what I
But
mean?
I'm
I mean,
saying-
it's one of those.
Even if down
You
the
know.
line, some of that stuff might become resellable, valuable.
Exactly. That's
Whatever.
what I'm saying.
So
That's what I'm
even if
saying.
it's
You
something
never
that, like,
know.
you come
Yeah.
across, like if I would have came across that Mando box set, I would have bought that. I don't collect TVC, but I would have bought it because it's a cool little set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
They're so cheap, you know. Yeah.
yeah.
I
So,
haven't seen McFarlane at mine.
Yeah.
The whole
I,
Oh yeah, they had a lot of
Finally.
DC, and
Found
they
this
had
guy.
Spawn.
oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's all they had at mine. Like that's all I saw was the McFarlane Platinum Catwoman from the movie Batman. With the full mask on, and then Dos Machina or Dos Machia, whatever.
Okay, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Beers?
That was it. Like that,
So
and,
we
and
have
a couple
we
Witcher
have
things.
we have the purple and yellow Batgirl. We got couple different Wonder Womans.
I did see like one of the Wonder
Yeah.
Woman, the World War Wonder Woman or whatever.
And then did you grab
That's
these off? Was Sith? Did you grab these off of Amazon the other day?
I bought them when they came out. I bought two of them.
They're $7.99 on Amazon now. So I finally bought a
wow.
bunch.
Yeah, they're nice. They have a hard time standing. You gotta use the staff.
Well, there's so many freaking joints in their feet and their legs. It's like, what is there, like, what do we count? 6 joints in their legs? So we're like,
and
geez.
they're gonna reuse that body.
Keep using that word, John.
for
He
the
means
commando droid.
articulation, Vern.
What?
He means the articulation.
Oh, okay.
They're gonna reuse that body for the commando droid because it's.
Are they really? Yeah,
They'll just have to repaint it and put a different head on it.
gotcha.
Mr. B said he sent you $, John.
I thought Reacher was way better than Rebel Moon, if that means anything.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't seen the newest episode yet, but I've been I watched the first few episodes, and I got to tell you, the acting in that is horrible.
Now, do
It
you
is.
guys?
It's just
Reacher?
entertaining and it's got
So do
some
you
action.
guys want to see him as Batman? Because I don't.
No.
Absolutely,
No,
man.
I don't want to.
Badass.
I don't. He's too
You know-
tall, number one, and he's not a good
He's
actor.
Hulk.
The
He
movie he
looks
could
great
really
though now.
do. Look, if they wanted to do a remake of, say, like Walking Tall, he's your guy.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
other than that, I mean, yeah, he needs to.
I could see him as Aquaman. Like if
Vern,
they wanted to
tell
do
him
like
to his
a
face
straight
he's
up
a shitty
Arthur
actor.
Curry.
What?
Tell him
what?
to his face he's a shitty actor.
Oh, I
I'll
will.
invite him
I
on
haven't
the
seen
stream
it.
next week.
I like the guy. Don't get me wrong. I watched him recently on Rosenbaum's podcast, Inside of You, and
Yeah, he's
and it was
pretty
a
articulate,
very good interview. And like, but yeah, I don't want to see him as Batman.
Here's the
I'm still on the Jensen Ackles bandwagon for
Okay,
Batman.
I didn't see this interview, so you'll have to give me what your opinion is after hearing him speak in this other environment. I
Okay.
don't know if he's a really bad actor, and I'm saying this to Rick, or if he's a really good actor, and that's how he thinks Jack Reacher is supposed to be portrayed.
I don't
know
know
anything about
like
Jack
Tom
Reacher.
Cruise is. Like Tom
Yeah.
Cruise to me is probably one of the worst actors ever, but he makes $20 million a movie because his movies sell popcorn and put people in the seats and stuff.
Yeah.
Why do you think that
Could be that guy. Like Tom Cruise could be replaced by that Reacher actor in every movie he's ever done, maybe except Top Gun because that's got a little bit of heart to
Well,
it. And
He
you know,
was replaced in
little bit of
Reacher.
to it. But
Well,
Like-
Tom Cruise should have never been in those Reacher movies because
No, he never should. He wasn't. He
He is
wasn't
not
the right.
too.
That's why I don't know Reacher, because if it's a Tom Cruise thing, then yeah, I don't watch any of his movies. Like
He
refuse-
wasn't. The character described in the book is a little bit more like the current actor.
Yes,
But
like
he's
the
not
guy
at
in the
all. He's not at all like described like Tom Cruise. So it's.
I don't
kind of
think
a-
that he's the guy
I'm not a Tom Cruise fan. I won't watch anything he's in.
I don't think that guy
Oh,
on
those-
Reacher can replace Tom Cruise in all the movies that he's done because it's not so much about the acting. It's about like kind of like how you would see the character and the stature. That guy that plays Reacher fits the character of Reacher in my mind.
Yeah.
Oh,
to a
for sure.
T.
And Rambo
Except
and
for-
Terminator and
I just don't feel like I feel like he's just reading the lines sometimes, and I just don't know if he's.
You want to talk about regional line? You want to talk about Monarch?
Stallone or
My God,
No, we're not going to talk about my favorite show on TV.
John
that
Cena, dude,
brother.
like,
Every time he comes on, man, I want to
Yeah.
punch him square in the face.
I do have to give him credit. I did see Godzilla stand up or pop out of the ground in one of the episodes. Then the next episode came out and there was no monsters in it again.
Yeah, not once did they show him.
until the very end when they blew up everything. And
No,
then
we
it's like,
focused on the character that does not matter to this story at all.
yeah, yeah.
Other than the creation of Apex, I guess, if that's how you want to look at it, and like how Monarch like came out into the public, because that's really the only reason why.
Well, Yakbet's saying that if we can accept Hugh Jackman as
Yeah,
Wolverine,
there you
why can't
go.
Tom
Yeah.
Cruise play Jack Reacher.
Wolverine
Well,
is supposed to be
Because
like
Tom Cruise did play
real life.
Jack Reacher, and he doesn't match the character. And no way did I ever think, oh, he's Jack Reacher. He's just a guy named Jack Reacher. I believed him more that he was the Yankee second baseman than Jack Reacher.
But he's
Tom
got a
Cruise
point.
literally stands on milk
Yeah.
crate when he acts. Like the Reacher
Yeah,
actor
he does
doesn't
sometimes,
stand
yeah.
on a milk crate. Like it's
But,
sad, but it's the reality of how Tom Cruise works.
But like Yak's saying,
Not
Yak,
stand on a milk
like
crate. Give me a break.
Absolutely,
I think
100% he does. I've
he
seen
did.
photos.
He did in some scenes. I've seen a picture of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
he would be this
There
much
was-
shorter than every other actor he works with. Like even
And
Simon
was,
Pegg is
So I
like,
will tell you this: in
tall.
Top Gun, the original one, what I did read an article about was every scene that him and Kelly McGillis were in, she was always leaning over or
Yeah.
not standing up straight.
She's like
When they
5'10".
were in like
I'm
the
sure.
elevator or whatever. I did read that article back in the day.
And what's her name in the new one had to do it too? Haley Atwell. She because she's
she?
super tall. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've liked all of his movies. He's very entertaining. I just think he's a bit of a dick in real life. And
See, that's why I don't.
I like-
That's why I don't. I think
guy.
he's a nut job. That's why I don't watch any of his stuff. I
And
just.
I know that guy roles usually, and I'm like, just not a tough guy. Like I just can't.
He would.
I watch all of his movies because they are all super entertaining.
They always
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are
I think
all
he's
very entertaining.
Are you?
I walked out of one of his movies
That's
recently.
Do you,
That's that movie where he's like the fat bald guy dancing.
his best role in Tropic Thunder.
Oh, that
That
guy.
was
Yeah, yeah,
great.
yeah,
Best
yeah.
role ever was him playing that role. That was great.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I know what
You know what the
mean.
thing is though, in the last few movies he's done, like this last Mission Impossible, the last like a Top Gun Maverick, and then even the previous Mission Impossible, they've made him a very flawed character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's not perfect. Like when you watch that first Mission Impossible, is like he struggled and stuff, but it was almost like it was untouchable in a way, right? They made him even up until the third one. It was that one where they were in the they were trying to stop the satellite from launching the missiles or whatever, and they were fighting in that car garage. And then in the
Yeah.
very end, when
It
he
happened in
goes,
6 different
"Mission
movies, but sure.
accomplished," and he hits the button, right? It was like that moment. I think they changed his character from being this like super spy to being this very broken, vulnerable
Yeah,
dude who
he-
just happened to get the job done.
That's when I think that's when he bought the franchise and
Yeah.
like, took off with it. Yeah, but do you know I gotta say that I personally I've always thought he was a really nice and funny guy because you guys know that I met him before, right? I spent an hour almost with Tom Cruise in an airport together.
And he's very personable.
And
Oh,
it was hilarious. He was fantastic to hang out with. So the thing is, when my grandfather was alive, this happened like 20 odd years ago when I was in Seattle once. I flew to New York and I was
Right.
flying back. My grandfather tried to get on a plane with all of these like power tools and drills and things that he brought. He used to go to Florida
What are
for
you
the
gonna do with
winter.
those power tools, sir?
And
I
now
am
you
not
can't even
going to
drink
try
a
to get
bottle
into
of
the
water.
cockpit,
Yeah.
TSA agent.
He used to go to Florida for the winter and come back for the summer in New York. You know what I mean? So he tried to bring all. He has like live drills and like all this, and they confiscated everything and like basically like frisked him down and thought he was some crazy terrorist guy or whatever. Flagged his name. So I go to get on my airplane and they're like, Mr. John Adams, can you come over here, please? And they take my bag away. They took everything that I had, my bag, my tickets, my passports, my ID, like everything. And they left me sitting in a chair with just a magazine that I had in my hand. And then 5 minutes later, they came and got me and they escorted me to this room. So I'm sitting at the gate when this happened. Okay. So I had already got through security and everything. I'm sitting at the gate when this happens. They take me to a room in the middle of the terminal and they open the door and they have me sit down at these long, like cafeteria, like tables. And they're like, please wait while we search through all your stuff and do a background check and everything. I'm going, what the crap did I do? How the hell did I get? And I'm just sitting there looking at my magazine. I'm looking over and I had just watched Black Hawk Down. And I look over and I'm going, wasn't that guy in Black Hawk Down? I'm like, that guy looks a lot like that guy that was in Black Hawk Down. I'm going, I don't know what the actor's name. I don't know who it was. It was Eric Bana. And I'm sitting there and finally he looks at me and goes, yes, I'm who you think I am. I'm Eric Bana. Come on over and say hi. And I'm like, I didn't know what your name was, but I just saw you in Black Hawk Down. He's like, yeah. And then like the guy sitting next to him's like looking at me like, you know, and I'm just like talking to him and they're like, have a seat. They're like, why are you back here? And I'm like, oh, I guess they think I'm a terrorist or something. They're like, what? You know, and I told them the whole story and I go, but I know this is because my grandfather tried to take power tools on the plane a few weeks back, you know, and they're like, oh, okay, you know. And then after
you got frisked by Tom Cruise and Eric.
So after a few minutes, he speaks up and he's like, "How can you recognize this guy and you don't even know who I am?" And then I like sit and I go,
"That'd be right about when I would smack him."
I was like, "Holy shit! Wait a minute!" I was like, "Are you Tom? I go, this is Tom Cruise." And he's like, "Finally!" Like he's like, and the funny thing is he had braces at the time. And his hair was a little bit longer. And I'm like, well, I go, your hair isn't really the same. And he's like, oh yeah. He goes, I got a movie coming up and they want my hair a little bit longer for the movie. And he goes, I'm going to be wearing a wig for some of it. I know it, but they still wanted me to try and grow it out a little bit so they could see and it was that samurai film that he was in. And then, I get back to Seattle and
joke. That's my favorite Chappelle joke.
I get back to Seattle and I tell my friends that Tom Cruise has braces and they're like, no, he doesn't. And then like a week or two later, he's on one of those morning show things when they're doing an interview and they're like, tell us about the braces. And my friend's like, holy shit, John was right. You know, like John had the scoop before anybody else, you know, they were like, but yeah, I thought both of them were great. I mean, we sat there and talked for a whole hour while they screwed up my airlines and made me late for the plane and everything.
They didn't offer you to take you on their personal private jet wherever you
No, I said that they were sharing a jet back to New York or something. I don't know, but
did you
I was like I need to go to New York. Well, that's where I was headed, was back to Rochester, New York. So I was like, I can go to New York City first with you guys. That's
and it was a hard no.
No, yeah, they don't want civilians.
It had to be a while ago. That samurai movie was like.
Oh yeah, well, in Black Hawk Down, yeah, it was right after I saw Black Hawk Down. Yeah,
I always, if you guys know the Chappelle joke, that's what I always think of with Tom Cruise and like the last samurai on earth.
Yeah.
So if you guys, I asked you guys in the chat, if you guys had to pick like your favorite TV show and favorite movie from the year, what would it be? We don't have to elaborate on it. We don't have to go into it, but just
from this year, 2023.
23.
Yeah. I had a hard time trying to think of a movie. Like I was like, what movie did I actually like really like this year?
Yeah, what movies even came out this year?
That's what I was trying to like ramble through my head, was like, what movie like really stood out to me?
Was Andor?
I got a better let's do this. We'll go around counterclockwise. That way, like I get to do Waze. Waze does Santa Claus. Santa Claus does the Gist. The Gist does Not Santa, and Not Santa does me. Pick the favorite movie and show of the person you're supposed to pick for.
Oh, I wouldn't. I have no idea. No,
You get what
mine.
I'm saying? So
My
I will tell you what Waze's favorite movie is and his favorite show.
oh well, you're just gonna go with
And
you're
he
gonna
will
go
tell
with
you what
so-
Dan's favorite is, and Dan will tell
No, my favorite TV show was actually Fall of the House of Usher. That
Never
was
saw it.
really for me was probably like I wish the show could have continued and gone on, but it was it was an Edgar Allan Poe story that they adapted, so it was only for the one season. But the cast was phenomenal. The story was great. Every episode had me hanging on. So like that would be my favorite TV show of the year.
I'm gonna see if the show that I like is actually from this year. Hold on.
That's what I'm wondering too.
Yeah.
And then movie, I would probably go out on a limb and say No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence, and only because it's been so long since like we've gotten a good romantic comedy movie like that. You know what I mean? Like they don't make those movies very often anymore. And like for me, Wanderlust and Couples Retreat, like some of those are like classic movies. So like I felt that movie was like in that category.
All right. My favorite show this year was Poker Face, actually, which is crazy because I
Really?
hated what that guy did to Star Wars, but I thought that Poker Face was fantastic. It was like I'm a huge Columbo fan, so when that show was on, it totally resonated Columbo for me, and I thought it was like fantastic. I haven't seen that many movies, I guess, except for on streaming or whatever. But
yeah, that counts. That counts because
I
they
did
are.
like the new Mission Impossible, the one that just came out. So I'm a big
Okay.
Mission Impossible fan. That's probably my favorite movie.
Yeah, 65, Creator, Mission Impossible was good. I mean, I might pick Creator above all of them.
That was a good one.
Yeah. 65 was really cool because I love monsters and dinosaurs, and that was
That was
neat.
the Adam Driver one.
Yeah, where he crashed on Earth 65 million years ago.
That was
It wasn't bad. I like Ariana Greenblatt and the other and like the guy playing her dad or whatever in the movie. Like I wanted to see more of them, but I guess I anticipated they were going to set it up for a sequel or something. But never.
Yeah, I hope they do more to the story because that we're just like more in that universe, I guess, because it's
Yeah.
kind of neat. Like
she's got to be the standout of the year, I think. Though, like that girl's gonna have a huge career on her hands in the future.
there's a 007 TV show called Road to a Million.
it's like a reality show, like a Amazing Race or something like that. Isn't it?
Yeah,
Right.
Blue Eye
Stupid Squid Game reality show.
Blue Eye Samurai might take it for my favorite TV show this year.
That's a good one. That's a good pick.
I'm looking through the shows for like Silo was great. Silo was good. Did you see that?
Oh, that was actually fantastic.
Oh, that was awesome, wasn't it? Yeah.
Guardians I saw in 2023, but it might have been in the theater in 2022. I'm not sure, but Guardians.
Okay. That still counts because it came out.
It's listed as a 2023 on the list. Guardians.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that was a good one. The third one.
That was gonna be mine.
Banger year, really.
That was yours, Dandy.
Without Peacemaker, so I'm missing the Peacemaker. The Reacher is a good fill-in for now.
It's a good show. Monarch's a good show. Yeah. As much as I joke around, as much as I joke around about not having any monsters, I do like
Which episode, John?
I do like the show.
I'm a couple episodes behind.
I like the show. I have issues with the cast in like the modern time, and they're like I don't care about that at all.
That's actually the best part of the show.
What
I like
it's like waste of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the old
Danny,
ones.
what about you?
Love for the
TV?
Last of Us? Nobody?
Last of Us? Okay. That's yeah.
I didn't watch
Was that this year? That was a good show. Was that this year?
Yeah.
Yes, you forgot all about it, and you cannot change your mind, John.
Take the pick already.
You already picked.
Yeah.
What about movie, Dan?
No, I'm with Rick. The Guardians 3
Guardian. Okay.
probably my top.
It's
It's
good. I'm
tough
gonna have to watch
between
it
that
again.
and Blue Beetle, but
Good pick.
See, like, I think Guardians is not, I'm going to say a rip off or a bootleg Star Wars, but it's very Star Warsy. Just a little, you know, I like that type of comedy and stuff that James Gunn does.
Yeah.
I guess at this point, a little better than, you know, what Zack Snyder knows. He's a brilliant, he knows what he's looking for. And, you know, the cinematography in every single shot, you know, is like
Needs
300
the back way on the slow-mo, though.
like,
Needs
yeah,
the
lots
back-
of slow-mo.
And Andy needs to learn that.
Freaking funny, and he always brings in music somehow into his movies and TV shows, and it's usually not the most popular, you know, nowadays music. It's something, you know, something that's a little heartstring or an earworm from back in the day, but it's entertaining that way. And the Reacher, I think, is also pulling music in every episode. They kind of they're playing it in the car or something, and Reacher brings up, "Hey, I know this band," like, and he solves something because of the song that was playing, kind of thing. So it's
Okay.
I like music in the movies, and if it makes it just comedy in it, even though it's not a funny movie, like Star Wars is one little tiny little joke usually. You know, it's
I think Guardians though might be like, I think between Guardians and Spider-Man, those three films, like each, I think they are the best Marvel movies that they've done. Like if you look at all three of them as bodies of work and like like I think they're on par with one another at like 1 and 2, and they could be interchangeable just depending on like what characters you like more, I guess. But
for
Guardians,
sure,
I don't think anybody saw like the success of Guardians becoming what it became, and it's all credit to James Gunn and who he picked, cast, the music, everything involved.
The thing is, though, I don't know if a lot of people will agree with you. I really liked Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one.
I'm saying all of them together, looking at it as a body of work.
But after that, I thought the other ones were just kind of crummy movies.
I loved the Christmas special. I thought the Christmas special.
that was good. Yeah.
that was good. Yeah.
After
I
that
didn't care.
I feel like a huge decline. I just can't.
I didn't care for 3 as much. Like I liked it. I thought it was a good end cap on the story. But I liked 2 as well. Like part 2 with Nando stuff and everything. That was a good story.
I think it was that one was a huge letdown for me, and then I just went into 3 like with my hands up, like
whatever.
I think 2 is the weakest of the whole thing, but I do like it as a whole. Like you said, as a whole body of work, I do like it.
Yeah. See, for me, Spider-Man would be number 1 just because I think No Way Home is the best one they've done out of all. Yeah, this last
all three Spider-Man movies have been top notch in my opinion. Yeah,
I like all of those.
I'm very excited to see which direction they go because I've heard rumors about like what they want to do, and like I would just love to see like an actual like let him just be Spider-Man in this next movie. We don't need the Avengers in it. We don't need let the Fantastic Four come in if you want to do that, but like let him be Spider-Man and like do the black suit, do whatever you want to do, but have him be street level Spider-Man. Don't like I don't know. Yeah. We've never got to see that.
I think the licensing deal that they've always had with Sony or the past 10 years has limited, I think, the stories they did make. Part of the deal was, there has to be an Iron Man or there has to be. So maybe that'll change in the future because I know that deal is constantly.
I think they just redid it. They redid the deal and they're planning on something different.
I would love for Sony to adapt, like take Garfield and have him be your Spider-Man, and then we have Tom Holland and maybe Miles Morales in the MCU. Like I'm fine with that. But
the mouse still does not own Spider-Man. That is the only reason character Miles Morales exists because
they own it. They just don't control the license.
Yeah, they don't control the license.
They own it. They don't control the license.
No, but I mean Miles Morales, they own. They invented him. Like it's their own creation.
But still,
all the other Spider-Mans that aren't Spider-Man, that from the Spider-Verse and stuff like that, they can do whatever they want with those merchandising. And
Spider-Verse though, or Sony movies, both of them.
Yeah, it's because Sony owns the license. Hold on. Sony owns the license for Spider-Man, so anything that falls under the Spider-Man umbrella, even if it was created after they got the license, is still license.
But Miles Morales was created before the license. I mean, Miles Morales was created like 30 years ago.
Fell under. That's why.
Created.
That's why they stopped making those Fantastic Four comics, because they were trying to kill any future Fantastic Four potential movies. So they would just give up the license so that Disney could just get it back.
Yeah, and then they did that. They did that with X-Men too, where they tried to kill off the X-Men and make the Inhumans like the big mutants, and that failed horribly, and they had to go back and fix all that. Yeah.
It's still the X-Men comic books are still suffering from that problem, I think.
Yeah, and they're suffering from too many titles. Like some of
the stuff going on is just like way out left field.
The Krakoa era was awesome, and I wish they would have let. So, like Hickman's originally pitch for that story was it was going to be a beginning, middle, and an end, and it was going to have one. You could look back at it like Scott Snyder's run on Batman, where like if you just want to read a complete run of Batman, start to finish, you read the Scott Snyder run, you have a definitive end for Batman, and that's it.
Yeah.
And like all the other Batman stuff could interplay. So like that's what Hickman wanted to do with X-Men, and Marvel saw this as an opportunity to like milk it for a year and a half. And like I hate that they did this, because in my opinion, House of X and Powers of X was such a groundbreaking story and such like a great direction to take it. And it would have been nice to see the middle of the story and the end of it.
It died after like 6 to 8 months. I was like,
and it's like, all right, like I like the idea of the Hellfire Gala every year. I like that aspect, but like I would have loved to see a definitive end to X-Men for once, and like, hey, here's this one story that gives you that. It would have been fun to explore. And now we're getting the fall of the House of X, but then they already announced that we're getting Blue and Gold back next year, so it's weird. Yeah.
But speaking of comic book writers, I have a feeling that you do notice that's why the Monarch show I think is so good, because Matt Fraction is writing it. Damn it, and he's one of my all-time favorite comic writers. Matt Fraction has done some incredible stuff.
Yeah, he's got a weird mind for stuff though too. When he did Fantastic Four, he wrote it to a point where like you had to have a physics degree to understand what was actually going on.
That was a little
any other TV shows or series?
I don't know, but I mean, this is the first time I've noticed his name on television. But he may have done other stuff, and I just don't know about it.
Did he have a part in Daredevil on Netflix, like or Defenders on Netflix?
Because
that Mark
he
Waid?
Did a good. That might have been Mark Waid, but he did do a good run in the comics with, or at least using Daredevil, right? Didn't he have a run where he used Daredevil? I want to say
maybe he's got a credit on it or something like that from the Netflix version of it. But
maybe he does. Yeah.
Dan, can I ask you a question? Why does that poster?
Hawkeye was his. That was really
rolled
good,
up
right?
on the bottom.
Because the piece at the bottom came untaped and it rolled up.
It's like, okay.
Thanks for noticing, though.
Yeah, John, I want to know where your his tank's going.
What's that?
Did you make space for that his tank on those shelves up there?
I don't know. See, that was supposed to be for the Vamp, but my Vamp, I don't know why it's not shipping. I mean, everybody else is getting theirs.
The Vamp? Not yet.
Yeah, the Jeep and everything. I've been hearing people on Twitter and other places saying they already got it.
No.
I'm like, well, where's mine then?
Not the Vamp yet. Mutton Junkyard just switched to ship yesterday. So
Mutton Junkyard set up in Eastern Canada now. So we'll get
that space was set for the Vamp, and then so now I got to make up a space. It could go right down there. There's nothing on that shelf, I guess.
Where's your his tank going? Santa Claus?
I know Vern got one, John got one. Dan, you got one of the his tanks?
It's right there, yeah.
Dan's going to show us his. Where is it? Is it up there already?
Right there. His finger is pointing to it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Rick, you passed on it too?
Right next to it.
I did. I watched Connor unbox his today, and I've seen a couple of reviews on it.
I was going to say, Connor did a good job. Yeah,
I had a couple of his tanks as a kid, and I loved it. It was a cool, vehicle for GI Joes. Everyone kind of.
I'm having FOMO. I regret not, but I didn't have the money at the time to do it. So
I didn't.
Large, to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't get it when it originally was up. I only have it because of Steve-O.
I
I had DM Steve-O, but he had already sold it to you. So I was like, damn. All
And
right.
are you like necessarily like I got to have the figures too?
No, I did see, like, I was looking at prices on eBay, and like you can get just the his tank for itself for a pretty decent, like not too much high of a markup. So yeah, I'm not too concerned about like the drivers and stuff like that. I would kind of like the Cobra Commander though to keep on card. Like that's the one thing that's like, I was talking Connor into it today. I was like, you better not open that. Like, don't open it.
No, don't open it. Yeah, just
I
that's
don't
staying
get
on
that.
card.
Like, if it's worth, in the secondary reseller market, say that's worth $150.
And it's
It almost is,
I
yeah.
take it off the card. The guy who wants it's still going to pay $147 for it. Like,
yes, but we're getting Cobra Commander in this next retro wave line. So
they won't put that Mickey Mouse logo.
No, but that's why you should keep this Cobra Commander on card, because it's just going to make that value shoot up even more with that one. Like
it's
that
false value.
And it's unpunched. Oh, come on!
Buy your soup second his tank for $150. Wait 6 months.
Yeah.
50% of the people that bought them for the purpose of reselling.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. That's why a couple of offers, you could definitely wait it out and get a little bit of a cheaper price, because right now they're going about $500. $500 complete with everything. That's kind of the price going around right now.
I think it's probably the most popular purchase for reselling when it comes to HasLab so far, because realistic price, and they know it's popular,
and it's an army builder. The whole thing
for your toy store or your eBay store, and sit on it for a couple of years, and maybe one day, kind of like we see the Hasbro sail barge for sale for $1,200 US.
But I never see one actually
people
sell.
Don't buy it because it's been for sale for $1,200 for a year and a half now, maybe 3 years.
Yeah,
it's still in the toy store.
I haven't seen anyone buy one for that price. Yeah.
It looks cool.
I've seen them go. They go on eBay for $1,200, $1,400 for the sail barge.
Because I have local stores that have had 5 or 6 tail barges for like, I would say, like, since it came out, and they've not sold a single one. They won't reduce the price. It's like he says, $1,200, $1,500, and I'm like, if you reduce the price, you're gonna sell it. And they're like, no way.
Like Dino got one via trade, which is a good way to do it. Like if you trade
Dino traded
toys worth $500 or whatever, then you're paying out $300, $400, $500. You're getting it. Like, that is cool. I agree with doing stuff like that, but just buying it for $500 or whatever it costs, and then the day after tomorrow,
money.
Hey, everyone, I bought it extra just to give it to you for $1,000.
Yeah, to make your money
back. And I've been waiting for the I keep checking the Sentinel, because I fully expected that I would be able to buy a Sentinel for less than what it was up at.
No,
I thought that would drop. I thought that would drop in price, and I've never found one for even less. I've never found one for a markdown. They're always high, more than what it was originally.
At one point, they were going for double, but then at one point they dropped down to they were selling less than retail value on eBay. They were going for like $300,
like after, like within a month.
I expected them to drop all the way down to like $150 or $200. That's what I thought. I was like, I'll buy one.
They dropped the HasLab price, and I was shocked because I was trying to move mine at the time, and I was like, "Oh man, I can't take a loss on this Sentinel."
Yeah,
like,
it's an army builder. And
it's a full army builder. Yeah.
But it's a freaking broken toy. It's broken.
No, there's people. Listen, there's people that are just getting into Marvel Legends now
that need that.
They need that for their X-Men collection.
I just thought that people would be pissed that it was broken, and someone would sell it for cheap because
they weren't that broken. Come on,
no, they weren't that
broken.
bad.
They're
Galactus for a while wasn't going for more than retail. Like, it was still going for like $350, I think, and then he finally creeped back up once like rumors came out that he was going to be featured in Fantastic Four.
I'll sell you mine for $500, John. This is the HasLab, right?
No,
that's the Marvel Universe one.
There's this one.
Yeah. I want the retro one. I want the original
I want them to, Rick, that other one you just held up. Show
This
the
was my
that one.
favorite of them all.
So I want them to do that same size, right? 12, 13 inches, whatever that is, as a posable Marvel. Like, do that Sentinel as a Marvel Legend figure. You know what I mean? Like, give us maybe swappable hands and some blast effects or something, but make that fully articulated at 12 inches. And then people who either didn't get the HasLab or want to use the HasLab for Master Mold, you could buy those 12, 14-inch Sentinels and position them with Master Mold. Like, that would be awesome.
You mean like this? Why not this one?
Well,
That one too. Yeah, but that one's tough now to army build. Like if you want to build that Ford Master Mold, those shot up in price considerably because I know I got mine in that one from Raw.
Re-release that so that people can get it more affordably. That's
you could.
I see them re-releasing it again when more X-Men 97 product starts coming out. They might repaint it cartoon style.
That would be a nice addition for the X-Men 97 line would be to get like another, that Sentinel re-released again.
Yeah. Is that the Build-A-Figure one, Dandy?
No, but I was just
Same
looking,
one, right?
trying to figure out which one Rick had because mine didn't look like his.
This one came with Wolverine in a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came. One of them's the Marvel Universe one, and one of them's the
He's just got it posed out differently, Dan. Like he's got the arms pulled away from the body.
No, they're different colors. They're different colors.
No,
and they are slightly different molds too.
No, it's the same mold. It's just different colored. That's what they did. It was the Marvel Universe version, which was the one Rick's holding in his hand, and then there's the Marvel Legends repack that they did for Legends.
Does yours have?
And then they had a Build-A-Figure one when it was Toy Biz Marvel Legends.
Yeah.
Can you straighten out the legs, Rick, so that the legs are more up and down? And can you put the arms down to the side?
Me?
Like this. Is that as close as they get to the body?
Well,
What about the legs? That's it, huh?
It's the same as all Marvel Legends.
Yeah, it's got to be the same. It's just a different.
That's all it is. It's just the different version that they did because they did like 3 versions, 3 different repaints of that for Marvel Universe. Because I had the one that came with Wolverine, and then they redid it for Legend. Yeah,
like Wolverine was in the box, like fighting.
Yeah.
Cool looking box. It's what they did before HasLabs, and it's kind of like the predecessor.
But see now, on the other hand, I got my Sentinel like that and my Galactus like that from Ross when I lived in Florida, and they were.
I'm sure I paid like $30.
Hey, it's interesting. Like when you talk about that ways about the Ross, right? Because this is not the first time figures showed up at like Ross, by the way. Because
no,
I've
been buying them every year.
When Rogue One was out, and Target had that 3-pack of Death Troopers or whatever.
Yeah, that all ended up there.
All those ended up at Ross, and that whole pack was like $15.
Yeah, but like
and
now like a floodgate of stuff hitting the Ross. So it's either what I'm looking at it is like Ollie's must have not touched anything for the holidays because they still had so much stuff that they purchased during
a couple
the summer
months ago. Yeah.
The whole year.
So, like, Ollie's had all of this stuff just sitting that's been still sitting in the store, and like they're just trying to get out the door.
I wonder if they just got outbid.
Yeah,
they could have too. Yeah, but like to see Ross get stuff that's like literally pulling off the shelves and coming right to like they were getting shipwrecked and
the new X Jet from X-Men 97 is at Ross at my Ross.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're a buyer.
$7.99.
Targets and Walmarts have to move stuff. Like if it's there, if they mark it down 2 days later, if it's still there, it's got to go. Like they got it. It has to. They need that shelf for other toys that are coming in at midnight. So they might move stuff really quick if they got it a little bit late.
Sure. I'm thinking Ross looked at social media and saw all the posts about like Ollie's and stuff, which was probably driving a lot of business to their stores.
Yeah.
And just said, you know what?
They put Christmas Tree Shop out of business.
Yeah.
Like,
and then said, we're going to outbid them. And then said, we're going to outbid those guys for the next setup. Because that's going to bring
sold them cheaper
into our store.
Yeah, they did sell a lot of the stuff cheaper. Yeah.
And sold it cheaper than like it was going for in Ollie's. Like all those GI Joes were going for $6.99 at
when you got a store like that, that depends on getting foot traffic. I mean, you can't get better than that. And then they basically got free advertising from like anybody who went in there and made a video.
Well,
anybody who posted on social media.
And that
And
that
it
was
worked.
the big upswing
It
for
works because
ours this year.
the last Ross I was in, what was it, like Wednesday or Thursday when I posted that last haul? There was another guy in there with me, and
Right.
he saw my stack, and he had grabbed one of the Croc Masters, and he's like, "Where'd you find that?" He goes, "Oh, I'm looking for that Transformer." I go, "They're in the bin up front." And he was picking up the power. He had
Yeah,
a
that's how I
stack Power
found that.
Rangers Transformers,
Yeah.
and
That's how
so
I
I mean,
got
it
that.
wasn't just me. There were
Yeah.
other people doing the
That's how
same
I-
thing.
Because I
That's
went,
how I
I
got the
was looking
basketball
for
hoop,
one
right? I
thing.
was walking around,
Mine
the
was,
guy had it
mine
in
was
his
like
cart,
figured out.
and I said, "Hey, where'd you get that?" And he's like, "Oh, there's 4 more right around the corner. Otherwise, I
Yeah.
probably would have missed them."
I'm
Yeah.
a little bit jealous. Like, I wish I could walk to a store and
Oh
get
yeah, yeah.
$20-$30 figures for $5 and literally just turn around and go to like that's the Santa's helper place, or charity. You can kind of give that stuff to, because you're
Yeah.
only spending, if you're only spending 20
Yeah.
$40, like,
Absolutely.
and you got 5 or 6 or 8 toys, I don't know,
Yeah.
I would feel really good. Like, I don't
Well,
have
that's
enough
what we did.
opportunities to buy multiple
That's what
toys,
Mom-
so usually
It's
just
funny
one
you
or
say
two a
that
year.
because that's
Yeah.
what Mom and I did yesterday and today. Yesterday
That's
we
awesome,
dropped
dude.
off. Yesterday we dropped off toys. We dropped off Lego and stuff for kids, and then
I
today
went
we got
to Salvation Army.
Spider-Man, Batman. What was it? Hot Wheels cars. We dropped off. Yeah, it was all this. We dropped
I
off
went-
today.
I went over to the Salvation Army. I have one like right down the street here, and they always had, so like every winter I'll get gloves, hats, clothes, and stuff, and drop them off. And I went today, and they're not accepting clothes, and I was like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do with all this stuff?
They didn't
They don't
direct
have the bin
you like
anymore.
Goodwill. Go down.
No, they
there.
don't have the bin anymore. So I guess they're
Huh.
not like, they're not accepting like donations. So like that's what I ended up doing. I took it to Goodwill and just brought it there. But
Yeah, yeah.
No,
But
Goodwill
Ross,
didn't
I know Ross gets
Mhm.
Transformers every year though, because we like
They
that.
only
I have
Yeah,
like-
but not always the good ones, John. Because like it
I
seems
got
like every
that
time I go in
Triptychon.
there, they used to get
Triptychon
the,
was like $40.
the Power
and-
Rangers that they used to get used to be those
Yeah.
like cheapo ones, right? Like
Yeah.
that sometimes you'd see like in a 99-cent store or something like. But this
Yeah.
year they're actually getting the fully
Legit.
articulated
like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
one.
And that part of that could be due though to the line being done too. Like that line is dead right now. Like they
Lightning is over. Yeah.
for now.
I
At
don't
least.
think-
I want to
mean-
go to a Sears store like in Yukon or Tuktoyaktuk or somewhere so far north, far away from everyone. You go in there and they literally still got like
Return of the Jedi figures on the shelf.
Force and Return of the Jedi on the card, because I'm not.
Is that Yak Face?
It
I'm
is.
convinced, Rick. I'm convinced there's a store out there that has
Guarantee
that
you,
stuff.
man, there's
Yeah.
stores like that. One in the '90s, I worked in downtown Vancouver at this big T-shirt company, and we found out about
Who
this
thumbs
warehouse.
down? Who thumbs down ways? What was that?
We found this warehouse store a couple blocks
Yeah, what
away.
was that thumbs down?
Did you see
And they
that? What was
had-
that?
They had all the modern power of the Force, like the X-wings and the land.
Oh, maybe
speeder.
somebody thumbs down or the
They
whole.
had
the whole
cases and
show.
cases and
Ah,
cases of
yeah.
that stuff at this old. I don't know what kind. It was a privately owned store. They just bought old stuff before there was dollar stores and
Yeah.
Ross stores, but it had toys from like the late '80s and '90s, like Robin Hood and what's
Yeah.
Water World, like Kenner toys from '88 and stuff, still new in box. And
Yeah.
there's so much of it, but it was only worth like $1. Like,
Well,
nobody wanted it. Still now to this day, nobody wants those toys.
when I lived in New York, still this was probably like 1999 or the year 2000, somewhere in that range. Right when we switched over, my friend Nofrio and I drove up to St. Catharines to see he started dating a girl that lived in St. Catharines, and we drove up there to see her, and we went to a local, like, I don't know it's almost like a convenience / drugstore kind of thing. Those you know what I mean, Rick. You
Yeah,
live
privately
there.
owned store.
Yeah, and they got like everything. They might have like a little clothing rack, and they have like you can get your prescription jugs or whatever there in the back, and they
Yep.
got like a bunch of other weird stuff, and sometimes you can buy drinks and bread there too. It's just a little shop, but they had a toy section, and there was Bionic 6 still on the shelf from brand new from the 80s, and mask figures in the boxes and stuff. They're just mask toys and stuff.
You'll find
And
stuff like that.
Nofrio and I were like, what the hell? Like, and it was all still priced like it was 1985 or something, you know? So we
You'll
ended
find
up
stuff like
walking,
that
we
be
walked
estimable.
out, we bought like, I think between the two of us, we must have spent like $500. We just bought like all of
Like all
it
those
and
mask
brought it.
toys found in South America or Argentina or somewhere a couple of years
Yeah,
ago.
they
Just like
did.
a
Yeah, they found a whole
warehouse
warehouse full of them
full
or
of
something. Yeah.
mint in box mask toys from the late 80s. Like, still some parts of the world, I'm sure.
But with that's
box
I
as well.
still remember seeing that, and that just floored us. We brought it all back to the States, and we were like, we kept what we wanted for our collections and sold or traded with friends and other people what we didn't want, you know, and made out like bandits, you know. It was like a crazy thing.
Yeah, you'll definitely come across those every once in a while. Same thing with
And
like
I'm convinced there's still stuff like that around. Like he said, you go to some small town and you're gonna
Yeah.
walk into a
Small
mom and pop
town.
shop and you're gonna walk into a mom and pop shop and still see G.I. Joe carded on the shelf for $1.99 or something because they don't know, they have no clue what's going on in the rest of the world. You
And
know?
had to staple the bubbles on because all the glue's dried up. So
Because I was actually shocked about a month or
Don't
two
worry, Rick,
ago.
you'll get a chance.
I was shocked a month or two ago when I found out from one of my friends when he was going through Montana that
You only thought he was
Still-
done with this spot.
there are still towns that don't have electricity
not here.
in,
Everyone,
in Montana.
He's not done.
Yeah.
it's free, like your healthcare. There's some comic industry drama going on the past few days, John. I don't know if you've seen like some fake CGC Hulk #1s and or whatever comics. Like, people are now finding multiples based on like the little barcode, you know, 0042. Like, when they grade it, they have a little serial number associated with it. So people are finding graded comics in multiple auctions, the same comic but with different grades, but they got the same serial number. So people are
Weird.
somehow ripping them open and putting a 9.5 in there instead of, you know, changing the stickers. So that's
Wow.
I've
Huh.
always hated the whole grading thing, and now it's just took a.
Did
a
you
big
see
jump.
the Did you see the graded? Did you see
That
the
doesn't
graded
happen.
Castle
Come on.
Grayskull that
That's a
Dandy
conspiracy.
that
That's a conspiracy.
Pixel Dan opened?
with bricks in it or phone books or something?
Yeah, they opened a brand new. It was a sealed graded Castle Grayskull. And when they opened it, it had papers and everything else in the box.
Yeah,
The grading company didn't even check to see if it was resealed. They just graded it a 9.5 or whatever and sealed it in plastic. And
was that grading company then liable?
Well, no, because they got paid. They got
No,
paid.
what I'm saying is, could you hold them liable because from what you?
Well, I would think so. They
Say
paid
you sent them
$3,000 for it.
in Castle Grayskull, and then later on you find out that inside that box and everything with your grade, it's not in there. Could you then go back and make them buy you a 9.8 Castle Grayskull?
No.
Probably
Something-
not. There's probably
they're gonna-
something in language.
At that point,
There's probably
I-
something in language though that they're not liable.
If you're their buddy, they might do it to save face with you because you give them 50% of their business. Because
Yeah.
there's only like 8 people that grade crap. So if you're one of those 8 people,
I mean,
they'll
their
probably do you a
credibility could be
favor.
shot
You
at
get
that. Their
solid.
credibility shot at that point,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think the guy who sold it to him
One,
gave him the
that's-
money back because they paid $3,000 for that Castle Grayskull, and I think the guy who they bought it from gave him the money back after seeing because they opened it on video live, and
Yeah,
we're
because
like,
there's
what the
no way. There's no way the video could have been edited.
It's tough. Like, if you're buying, I've never bought like sealed.
It's sealed in plastic. I mean, come on, how are they gonna? Are you
You're
think
right.
that you really think they
No
opened?
No way. There's no
I
way
don't
for
have
that
a
to be
device.
edited.
Like, if I was see an ad on Facebook or someone contacted me, I'm selling my collection, and I go to their place, and they have, like, say they have a sealed Millennium Falcon or something. I don't have a scanner or an X-ray thing where I can
Yeah,
prove,
Wait,
but
that's
I
true.
can kind of tell by lifting it and shaking it. Like,
You don't have a
but then again,
scanner?
I could make a mistake.
You don't have one of those portable X-ray scanners that you take.
It's built into the battery, buddy.
yeah, yeah. Your phone,
You're taking a
your
chance.
phone
Like,
has an app now where you could just do this.
Don't you
no,
go like this every time you make a deal with somebody for some vintage rig? I'll meet you down at the airport at the entrance to the security.
in the alley behind McDonald's at midnight.
You mind if I just push this through real quick? I want to make sure it's in there.
Yeah.
Be careful, like especially on
I'll meet you down at my doctor's office. He's got an X-ray machine.
modern toys. Recently, I've seen a couple people, and maybe even one of them was you. Like, go buy a GI Joe or something. They come home and they open it, and it's like,
That doesn't
Jyn
come on.
Star-Lord?
That's not
It's
happening.
like Jyn Erso or something. I'm like,
Never happened.
Star-Lord?
So
When
tip,
one person
tips about
that
that.
that's ever happened to. Nobody
Tips
has
about
ever.
that.
imagine spending
You guys gotta-
$1,000.
You guys got to pay attention to three things when you're doing that: the side of the boxes and the creases, the tape on the figure, because
Can't be replaced.
the tape can't be
The
replaced.
tape-
It's
The
literally
tape, no, Waze, did you see the one I opened in the car?
it can be
It was
replaced.
taped
You just have to do it
perfect.
perfectly.
you can clearly
Nope.
see when it's
You could
not.
not. You could not tell.
Yeah,
I
you can't.
wouldn't have bought it. I wouldn't have bought it if I could tell. It looks
You-
brand new.
Okay, hold on.
It's a-
I'm going to put you guys side by side, and let's see what the biggest difference is here.
The only way I knew it was because of the weight. I was like, this
John
weight is off.
currently thinks his camera is filming him in high definition.
No, I don't.
It's
That's
5K.
not.
That's one of the main things is the weight of the package
Yeah.
too.
That's
You
why I
feel-
opened it in the car. But
Yeah.
the tape was perfect. They retaped it perfect. You couldn't tell from outside.
There's only like so many brands of tape. Like it's
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
god, that's not the special hologram sticker. Like if you
But
want
see,
to get
a lot of the
legit,
time,
dude,
what you'll notice though is like you'll see that seal, like where the tape was. You know what I mean? Like that's the one thing with it. Where like even with these, I'll fucking shake it in the store. And like,
Yeah.
look, I'm looking at it. I'm spinning it around.
All right.
I made some
Right,
pictures with
right.
Gecko the Bounty Hunter, and I put these little.
Gotta have that fast finger.
So do something people can't fake.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting with Green Goblin. Actually, he's in a plastic tray inside the cardboard, folded over the top. So like like the way you had to open him. Do I have the package? Yeah.
But no window on the box, right?
So no window on the box, but like he's still got. Here, let me see where I
There's
opened it.
plastic inside.
Hey, he would be a cool figure
Yeah.
to see through the window, like because he.
Oh, and like,
would.
the way they did this, like
Armor.
I'm shocked that there isn't, but like you can take this and definitely make your own window if you're one of them, where you just cut the thing out. But
What
like
do you mean, one of
it's
them?
in- I've seen people online that
One of them. You could
they were
just set your
buying
own.
they were buying the plastic free packaging and cutting out and making a window for their figures. I've seen a lot of people do that because they're inbox collectors. But like here's
Not anymore.
well, not anymore because you made it a custom. But if you want to keep it in box and see the figure, like, but like,
There you
look,
go.
this
Yeah.
it's
You're not keeping
folded
it in boxes.
like cardboard, but then there's a plastic tray on the inside. So like,
Oh, that's some interesting plastic-free packaging.
that's what I
Yeah.
said. There's actual plastic on the inside of it. Like, what was the point? But I thought it was
Right.
interesting because it prevented anything from being manipulated. Like this was sealed and taped, so like as soon as you open the box, you know what I mean. You would have known right away if somebody was in here and tampered with it. I thought that was something of a little security measure. You know what I mean?
No, we
You could
haven't
open
had
it
on
up
the
and
show
come in Jyn
yet,
Erso in
and-
there.
Rick, you
Yeah.
haven't done any. Do you have any theories? Because I did make this video in case you have theories. I'll just play it.
Yes,
Let's
I have-
get into the end of the-
That logo wasn't centered right. It needs to go a little bit over to the.
Just trying to prove I spend more than a couple of days working on putting the show together.
I've
You got
been thinking. I put a post up yesterday, saying, "Oh, what if Hasbro made a retro collection for Shadows of the Empire?" And oh my
Oh.
god, man, I got like a million people literally
That would
like,
be awesome.
Wow,
Hey.
a million?
and
You
then I
could get
got like
monetized on
half
Twitter
a million
with it.
people that like did like puking emoticons and like
Because it was
No.
bad. I mean,
I'm in the yes. I'm in the
Oh,
yes
yeah.
category.
Oh,
Do it. It was
I had
awesome.
go back to Shadows of the Empire and read that now,
I
and you
made a
can't,
bunch of people
you can't tell me
excited.
it's
I
good.
made a bunch of people like, oh, live. Like, oh no, that would never happen. But so it's pretty cool, like to see the dynamics of collectors.
But like, go back and read Shadows of the Empire. You can't tell me that's like good shit.
I've always been totally fine with it. I love Shadows of the Empire.
Shadows is one of the better
There-
stories. actually.
There's some cool stuff about Shadows of the Empire, like with the syndicates and all that. But like then there's some really out there character designs, robotic Chewie, like
Yeah, the Chewie thing is crazy. Yeah,
I was just happy because they
Snuba.
made,
Yeah,
10 or 15
something
years later,
different.
they made
Yeah.
stories to fill in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
blank between Empire and Jedi and and Star Wars and
But now we're getting that with Mando and that whole stuff. So like they could work some of the characters into that if they wanted to, which I'm surprised they
the
have.
Empire and the Power of the Force line, right?
Yeah, right. That's what it was.
I
Is
was
that
all
they
in
were
on
like the
Star
Power of the
Wars.
Force style figures, but it was Shadows in the Empire. That's where
Yeah.
they did
yeah.
the Luke and the
Red outfit.
super
Yeah,
outfit with
And,
the
like-
dash
Yeah.
Like
bar.
I've said before, like with, the younger guys like Ed and stuff and Eric, that generation, whatever you're called, Generation Penguin. It's their time to buy the retro toys, Ninja Turtles, episode
Yeah, I
one,
don't know.
episode one,
Yeah.
and Power
Yeah,
Rangers.
we were talking about that a couple weeks ago.
Empire. Shadows of the
Yeah,
Empire
that's an
was
old
huge when it came
conversation.
out.
I think what came out of that, Rick,
94.
that whole conversation was Star Wars toys didn't make collectors, and retro was just the retro look is just the luck of the draw, because I mean, realistically, like you could have collected millions of like Mego style Star Wars figures.
Sure.
Yeah.
We all could have,
12.
like, we all,
12.
we all
I
had
think
a
that's what we-
toy that we
I
loved as
think
a kid.
collectively that's what we all agreed, right?
No, except there's only be 12 figures if it was Mego did it.
So
Yeah, Like I remember Shadows of the Empire. Like I think that was like around the time right before the prequels came out. Like that was the line like that was out there.
nobody bought those figures, by the way. I worked at Target at
I
that
did.
around that time.
I already
And,
came
yeah,
of them.
John was the only one buying them. I was at Target when those Power Rangers figures launched, where they had like the lines out the front of the store.
Yeah.
We would give tickets to people as they walked in the door so that they could get their one figure, and then he just got the next one out of the box. And when they got like the villain, they were like, "What? What am I supposed to do
all
with
those-
this?"
And I managed to buy the entire wave, every character in the triangle boxes, all the Megazords, and all the villains at once, and walked out the door.
Well, that's like the day, because I remember out here was like, we're getting 2 boxes, and there was like a sign on Friday, we're gonna have Power Rangers, so line up early. And it was like they literally every figure went to one person, and there were people just reselling their figure in the store before they were buying. I was like, how are you selling something you don't even own yet?
What's up, Blaze?
Hey, Dandy's new.
Yeah, they used to,
member for 18 months.
I
Andy is
remember-
an 18-month member.
Holy, he's old.
Value City. Value City was where like I found all the Power Ranger stuff.
Oh yeah, Value City,
Thanks,
Value
man.
City,
I
Value
remember.
City. Yeah.
That and Bradley's. Like I remember Bradley's too. Like I don't know if you guys had them.
Do you guys remember Toys R Us?
No.
Oh yeah, there was a. Didn't they have they had like a centipede or something?
No, they didn't exist. They closed.
I have one in my state, and it's more of a tourist attraction now than
It's not even a real store.
They
So
had a
you can have
centipede as a mascot.
so you can play along if you want.
It's real.
and
I saw
decide
it.
whether or not these will end
Sword.
up in your collection. Should we change it from hot or not to something else? I keep seeing people do their like little fancy. Do we need to be cool like those guys that go dope or nope or something like that?
You should be able to swipe
Well,
on the screen like Tinder.
See, hot or not always reminds me of that old like what was that
Tinder,
its
the
old
original
web?
Tinder.
Was that an original Tinder? Yeah, I remember that. You had to one way or the other they were hot, and the other way they were not, and that was like
Plenty of
people
fish.
were
Yeah.
people were killing themselves because of that. They had to shut that website down.
So you telling me people are not
I
going to be
killed
happy?
nobody.
This is bringing
Yeah.
back bad memories for you, John.
Some people got like their not score down to like it was like -50 or something. They were killing themselves over the website.
Oh my gosh, that's awful. All right. Anyways, did anybody jump on the 4 Mego
No.
Ghostbusters figures that were $20?
I wonder if Eric did.
What?
It's
They're
a
all
cool-
4 for 20?
Yeah, they're regularly 55 or something like that, and they had them up
They marked
for
them down.
$20. They had them marked down to $20 for the
Wow,
entire
that's-
set.
That's
What?
pretty cool, man, with the soft goods and all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if I had seen it, maybe
We don't
I
have those in
probably-
Canada. We don't have
What?
nice things up here in Canada.
They look pretty
Mezco
cool.
or-
They don't look
Yeah, it's
anything
cool.
like the people from the movie, though. Unfortunately,
A little bit.
I mean, that looks
It's not Dan
exactly like
Aykroyd,
Bill.
for sure.
That looks exactly like Bill Murray. What are you talking about?
Those are probably the
No, it
most
doesn't.
accurate Migos I've ever seen them make to date.
For Migo, that sculpt is pretty good.
Like Migos,
Yeah.
not known
Formigo, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
like people.
Yeah.
All right, so nobody then. All right,
I do like them. I just never had an opportunity to.
so
This is
Hot
awesome.
Toys showing off their. This was from a Star Wars show, right?
Well, I don't remember it in the movie. No,
The Netflix
Wasn't it
show.
in the Ahsoka series?
no, I don't think I ever saw it in the
The
Ahsoka
Death
series.
Trooper. You didn't see
Episode
one
9.
old Death Trooper.
It was in the last episode for a couple minutes. Yes.
Yeah,
Was
this
he
is-
really?
Yeah, I
to
think
be-
he got
to the-
lightsaber through the head or something, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I remember
Anybody-
seeing Enoch and a bunch of white stormtroopers that were painted up.
I think
you know,
he
with
was
red
like he was
bandages,
in that last. You know
They
where
had two Death Troopers against Sabine and Ezra. That's
yeah,
what
as
it
they were working their way up the
they?
tower or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These
all right,
look
well,
awesome,
maybe-
but they're so damn expensive, man.
Yeah,
They're like
it's ridiculous.
$400+ dollars, aren't they?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hot Toys.
Just you know what? Just wait about 2 months and you'll get it for $100.
So we
Like
have
I've been
we have
doing.
a fun joke like where Hot Toys is essentially having a drug addiction. So we call it Keith Richards. Like whenever somebody
There you go.
splurges on Hot Toys, we send a Keith Richards gift to each other.
But
'cause
it's not a
essentially
splurge.
but it's
But you
essentially
send-
having a drug addiction. Like you're
Did you
paying
see
like
the
Partridge
last?
Family.
Did you see the last one I bought? Did you see
you're
the
gonna lose
last
your
one I
family,
bought?
you're gonna lose everything.
No, the
yeah,
last one I bought.
I saw the
It was
Yoda one.
50.
Yeah.
All right.
You know
How
what?
about
I got,
Captain
no, I
Enoch?
got that stormtrooper for $58.
He looks
Are
awesome.
you
Ship.
buying this one to add to your collection?
No, because he'll.
I want
he'll
this.
be
I want this in Black Series.
Yeah, I
He'll
want
be
to see the
$100.
action figures.
It's interesting
It'll be-
because like you're not. I mean, he didn't really do. To me, didn't really do very
No.
much. It's kind of
No,
like
it's
it's
such
kind of like a
bad show.
Captain Phasma at this point. You
Yeah.
know, we don't know what the future of this character is, and you're going to get all wound up in this like really cool stormtrooper. And you know, to be completely honest, they can end up just doing nothing with him, like they did with
Nothing.
Boba Fett.
Yeah.
You know, way back in the day,
like
and it
Taylor.
could just be like an enigma for so many years. Just
I
looking
think
cool.
so like I'm still hopeful that we're gonna get Eli Vanto in this whole entire thing, but I wouldn't be shocked if like he's the proxy for that character. Like that's all he's supposed to be is filling that void from that character.
Oh my gosh!
I would
These guys
honestly
are
be
like-
surprised if we ever see this character ever again.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
not-
It's going to end
He'll
up
be
being
the
like
Thrawn
Maybe
in
in
the
the
basically
cartoon.
the-
All right.
yeah,
Well,
like,
no, like in the original Thrawn books, it's Rook, but Rook's dead in canon, so
Right.
this is Rook. This is
so I'm with
essentially
Rick though that we end up seeing literally nothing from the character, and he ends up
Oh.
just ending. They're trying to like create like
Nah,
a
he'll be
new
the-
Boba
he'll
Fett is
be-
what I think.
if they stick to Heir to the Empire, he'll be the one to turn his back on Thrawn and kill him. That's what they'll do with Enoch.
Maybe, like,
But as
they
far
hyped
as this
him up a
figure
little bit,
goes-
but they left too much of a mystery for us to care much for them. Like,
Well, that's the whole thing. Yeah,
we
all
like
this.
Thrawn
we-
because
we
Thrawn's a
really-
character we know from comics.
We really didn't get any like up until the finale. We thought they were all dead. We thought all these troopers were reanimated, and then we
Yeah.
came to find out like, oh, okay, so they are still regular humans, but they're just dressed up in the Night Sister colors, like pretty much.
And red electrical tape, sports tape.
Tape, yeah.
Yeah,
But
bang.
all
And
these figures will be $100 or less in 2 to 3 months.
These aren't
Don't buy 'em
sideshows. These
now.
are Hot Toys.
I'm
Have you
looking for.
seen all the ones I've been buying, Rick? Every
Like-
one of those
Those are
hot toys.
sideshows, aren't they?
No, they're hot toys.
Okay. Yeah,
I
these
bought
are
them
like
for the
$800
most
in
expensive
Canada.
one.
I'll buy these in
$112
Black
was the
Series.
most.
I'll buy
Yeah.
Enoch and the Night Troopers in Black Series, not Hot Toys. I can't do Hot Toys. My wallet or my bank account won't agree with that.
I want
Some of them are down to $50. You can do that.
Wave
You pay
2
that for a
retro.
Hot
deluxe.
toy?
Yeah, I've been buying them up. I've got now 10 or 12 hot toys that
Where at?
all of them were super cheap. eBay
Mhm.
auctions. eBay auctions.
No.
Seriously.
I know Bat, our friend Rick, he wins a lot of them through raffles
Yeah.
on Instagram. Like
Or
he'll
things like
I
that.
think
Yeah.
it's like $15 to put your name in a raffle, and then he'll end up winning his choice of whatever hot toy out of the raffle. He's got a pretty much a whole collection just out of doing the raffles.
Is he old enough to gamble in his state?
I think he's about your age, honestly.
Okay, then
Anybody pick this guy up or order him?
Yeah,
No, but he's cool. That's a cool.
I did. The listing went out of stock the first time it went up on Amazon, and then I came across it the other night and I picked him up. He was $23 shipped. Like I couldn't. I was like, you know
Wow,
what?
That's a good deal.
I'm not grabbing. I talk about the Street Fighter figures all the time and how much like the quality of them are. So this is made by Jada as well. I'm not in on this line, but I picked up Mega Man because he'll at least go with the Street Fighter.
If you're gonna
stuff.
get one, you got to get that one. Yeah.
Marvel vs. Capcom, you know what I mean? Like he'll fit right in on the Street Fighter shelf and be fine. So like
I
I'm
think
with
that
that.
even if you not a Street Fighter, but if you were a video game fan, because like
That's
Mega
the
Man
one.
was one of my favorite games. So
Well, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Yeah, like it's a and like
Yeah.
the quality of their figures is just like I can't describe it until you actually get one in your hand
No,
and you
they're
see,
doing
like,
well.
the weight difference of like the figure and the quality of the joints. It's different and
Right.
like this is probably going to be just as good. I hope next year they get more licenses. Like if they could get somebody give them the Star Wars license, please. Let them make Star Wars figures. Like come on.
They will have some
Hold on.
new licenses next
Who
year.
knew?
Yeah.
Where's my tape? Oh,
I would like I would like Mortal Kombat, honestly. Like if we can get Mortal Kombat figures from them as opposed
Yeah,
to
I think
McFarlane.
that somebody else has that license. already.
McFarlane's
Yeah.
got that license, right?
What
Yeah.
about these new animated, or I guess the comic book version Batmans or whatever, or the cartoon version?
They look
Those
good.
guys?
I'm not in on these though, but they look
Yeah,
good.
not buying them. I like the
Commissioner
Gordon.
looks
Yeah,
good. I
he's
like
cool.
like
I
that.
will let you know though, these are some of the most popular McFarlane toys he's ever made from
Yeah, people buy them.
my
Yeah.
Amazon affiliate stats and stuff. These are by far some of the best sellers that McFarlane's ever made.
Yeah, a
They're
lot
very
of people because I guess a lot of people have that nostalgia for this show and you know that era of the comics and stuff like
Well,
that. So
They're cheaper than every other action figure line out there too. Like they're less
Yeah.
than 25 or they're $19 when a basic GI Joe or Black Series or most other toys are like 25 now, right, or more.
yeah,
But I think McFarlane's still getting in there for $20 whenever he possibly can, and he's shipped like these will probably be in the store like Monday, like Christmas Monday. Like he shows pictures off the internet, and like the
And
next
it's very-
day, we're like,
yeah,
oh,
it's-
look at
That's
that.
because they hide them. They hide them until
They
they're
do.
ready.
They hide them in the back.
Yeah, till they're ready to like come out, and then they start like promoting them, and then because they know, right? Like when you show off like a figure and you got to wait like a year for it, you know, some of that desire to want that, get that figure,
you lose
just
that. Yeah.
right. You're like, maybe I don't
So,
really need that.
He saw it firsthand too with that '89 stuff and like listen to people and like
Yeah.
hey,
yeah.
there's not enough of this Batmobile out. Now you can readily get that Batmobile still on Amazon for the same price. And like, good for him that he did that and like listen
Yeah.
to
It
people.
would be
Hey,
interesting.
I want to make this to where everyone can have one or two if they want them. And you know what I mean? Like that's a good.
It'd be
I
interesting.
I just noticed something.
And Mattel's because
So
he's not a big company like them. He's more new,
Yeah.
and he's now kind of equal to them. Like,
Well,
even
he's
though
not
the
really.
licenses are very limited. It's just one license, really, DC,
Yeah.
and then Witcher, and he does some other stuff, video
Yeah.
games, getting into the Warhammer. But I mean, I'd like to see money numbers comparing him to Hasbro and.
I'm glad that he listened to everybody on Batman.
They're number 5 right now.
So like I don't know if you have the picture of that or not, Vern, but the new there's 4 new animated series figures that were leaked and they're much better than the cell shaded ones that just came out. Like he removed the Build-A-Figure, he listened to everybody and packed in a lot more accessories and they're $20 as opposed to $30. So like they look great. It's Batman, Killer Croc, Batgirl, and
the Mezcos, 5 POA.
yeah,
I just saw that Batmite is packaged with Commissioner Gordon, which means I'm going to buy that figure. Batmite, I will buy it just for Batmite.
That's
Yeah, and then
that's why that Commissioner Gordon rocks.
Decades, Jonathan, but Hasbro's been making them for like 150 damn years. Like Mattel, 148 years.
Yeah.
Fairlane is
But-
younger than me, and he's a Canadian kid who.
What was it? 1992, I think, was the first McFarlane figure. So
I think so, and it's his own company. He's not public.
yeah,
You
No,
can't buy
yeah.
shares in
like
it. It's all in his pocket. Like
he
all
doesn't
of it.
have to answer to anybody. He doesn't have someone telling him what he has to do. Yeah,
Maybe now, just
but he's
change the
number. our last numbers came out, and they had Mattel at number 1, Lego at number 2, Hasbro had dropped to number 3. And every time I got numbers for the last 5 years from Lego, they always put Hasbro as number 1. So they finally dropped down. They're doing
Lego's
bad.
pretty popular in Canada.
But Spin Master was number 4, and McFarlane Toys was number 5. So I was like,
you go to my Walmart now, and their Lego aisle will be empty, basically. Like,
Yeah.
As of yesterday, maybe. But the other toys, there's still lots of Ninja
Yeah,
Turtles.
Lego has a
and-
really hard time keeping up with distribution in your area, Rick.
yeah,
No,
it
it's
seems
it's
like it.
popular at Christmas, man.
Oh yeah, Christmas time. Yeah, because
Oh,
all
yeah,
the Lego aisles, all the Legos aisles are empty. It's
easy.
easy. It's an easy gift for people to buy. You know.
You know what they said?
We'll build
You know,
Lego for 3 hours. The parents are gonna go get drunk. So like the toys are popular, man. They're always.
what
out
do
there.
you guys think the next holiday is for toys, aside from Christmas? I
4th
was
of July.
shocked. It was shocked when Lego told me this. I never knew until I saw the numbers. I was like, "Holy
Easter?
crap! Seriously? Yeah,
First
Easter,
thing?
Easter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right.
Makes sense.
Easter is it's. Oh, they said they almost. It's only about 10% less than Christmas. It's massive for Lego, at least for
Yeah,
Lego.
'cause you're getting all that from your immediate
Yeah, you know what
family.
though?
Right?
Hold on. You know what? I wonder if that's because kids are out of school and parents are looking to have their kids be busy.
And I think they put something in the basket that's more than just candy.
Yeah.
Your Easter basket. If you put a toy in there,
Oh, I thought you meant like some other substance.
No,
Buy it.
we would need a van for that.
yeah, you need a van.
A white van with no markings.
I always think of that Big Bang Theory when they're like, we can go get kids to come into the
Come to the
comic
comic
book
shop. We'll go
store,
pick them up.
get a van and drive them.
He's like, we'll offer them free candy. And he's like, no, stay away from.
Claim the kitty.
Oh my gosh. You guys got any plans for this weekend? Anything?
Going up north and then doing Christmas Day.
Yeah, I'm up north.
My mom. That's about it.
John, are you there for the weekend?
Yeah, I'll be here probably till Wednesday morning.
That's
Okay.
nice.
I was
What about you,
just
Dan?
putting up shelves. You know those free shelves that you put on the walls? You know, and Kitty, you're gonna walk all over this thing. So like it's just a shelf that you put up on the wall. So I went to put it up, and then I stand back, and it's like, no, that's not level. So I redo it, and I put it up, and I'm like, oh crap, now it's not centered. So you redo it, you put it up, and you're like, oh crap, now it's not level the other way.
Wait a minute, you
That's
went
like-
ahead to do an entire
I had
room
to-
and you didn't buy
I
a
had to
level or a
do
laser
shelf
level?
No, and the funny thing is I have a laser level that I'm using. And I
Get a
come
marble.
out-
A golf ball.
I had to move these shelves like 2 or 3 times when doing them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I finally got it level. It's up there.
And
Now-
like I was using a
and there's
level,
two
but
more-
whoever built this house, the walls
That's
are
what
not
it is.
level.
That's what we found out. That's so
Like, You
it
can even
really
see where
was-
my Spider-Man are. Like I have them mounted, pinned to the highest point of the ceiling, and then they come down from there. But at one part of the row, you see where the ceiling actually,
Yeah.
is off level.
So that's what I did. So I'm using a laser level, and I'm like, this can't be this difficult. And then I measure from the ceiling, and I realize that on this end it's like 52 inches, and on this end it's only 48. So I'm like, the ceiling isn't level. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in a
That's what-
span of
that's what
like
this room-
in a span of like 6 feet, it's 2 inches or 4 inches different. You know, and I'm going, oh my god, this house isn't square at all. You know,
Funny.
like,
Dan,
Like,
Dan,
who
what do you
built
got for
this?
the holiday?
Oh, parties.
Nice.
Yeah.
A lot of
Monday.
party?
Yeah.
Are you doing Christmas, Dan, or are you going someplace for it?
Oh, I'm traveling, man. I don't do the.
Okay. Is anybody here like hosting? Chris Vern, are you hosting?
We'll probably have our family over.
Okay.
yeah, we are now. That's why we set up the tree, and then Dad and then everybody's coming up. Yeah,
So
Oh, nice.
John's traveled. You're traveling, right? You're going to your
travel,
mom?
but also now
I'm
hosting.
traveling too. Yeah.
and then Danta Claus is traveling. Rick,
Yeah.
are you going anywhere, or are you just hanging out?
No,
or-
my family is not getting together this year. Whatever obvious political.
You can come over, Rick. You can
But
come
my
over.
buddy Sasquatch, my Sasquatch friend invited me for
Okay.
some some drinks and food Christmas Day, so I'll go hang out with him and his family, and hopefully not get in any trouble. I can play with his toys for once.
We'll see about that. Yep. But
It's cold here as of today, so I'm like, man, are we gonna get snow? On Monday.
Yeah.
we have a
Fingers
lot of
crossed.
rain.
Just it makes it feel better, man. When I
Yeah,
wake up Christmas morning.
I wish it would snow for Christmas. Like I've been waiting for that for years, but I can't remember the last time that it snowed on Christmas.
I thought it was going to snow 2 days ago. I stepped outside at 5 a.m. and it was so freaking
If
cold.
you get snow, we have a problem.
Yeah, it was so.
Let me know if you get snow, John, and I'll move. Get in my rocket ship and-
It was.
I
But
would bring
believe
up
me,
global warming, but Waze doesn't believe in any of that.
yeah.
What?
And it
Global-
was so. It was so
I believe-
cold. I really did think that. You know what I mean? It was that,
No,
that
I-
cold a couple
when I
days
lived
ago.
when I lived in Florida, we got snow 1 year. It got cold
there
enough
was-
where it
I heard about
flurried,
that,
but like
yeah.
didn't stick.
Yeah.
It just flurried. That was it.
That was probably the year
And
where they
I-
said all 50 states had snow at the same time or something like that.
Yeah, I was in Disney like when it flurried. It was nice. It was like
Really?
beautiful,
Wow.
perfect, perfect thing. But yeah, I remember that. Like it got cold enough to where it
Somebody
just
boot
it
Vern.
came down, but that's it.
All right, let's talk about Vern that he's not
Oh,
here.
no, John's not stuck. I thought John was stuck too.
Oh no!
So Vern
you,
has
you just turned your head and you looked like you were frozen.
is everybody off work for a little bit?
Yeah,
I'll go back January 3rd of January.
Cool.
I got another couple weeks off because I get laid off for the winter time because I work outside. So yeah,
Gotcha. But they always hire you
It's so
back.
cold there, right? Where you
Oh,
are?
yeah.
You're up north a little bit.
yeah. I'm on the East Coast, so it gets right now it's like 30 degrees outside. Like it's
But
cold.
that's
It's cold
0
enough to
degrees,
snow.
isn't it?
Yeah, well, for you, it's what's a transfer? It's below zero, I guess, for you, right? Because it's a 20-something degree difference from Celsius to calculus or whatever.
We got a high of 6 today, a low of 1.
All right.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
So we are getting to the end of the year after Christmas, and I'm sure you guys will probably doing like top 10, any top 10 videos.
Maybe
I
I'll
never
go
do.
5. I'll
I
go
still
pick
have.
5.
I thought I
never
was
do.
done here, but I still have like other reviews to get out before the top 10.
You got to do it early, but I'm just curious before we sign off. Does everybody wants to go around and say what they think their contender is for their favorite figure of the year?
I can tell you
Oh
two
my
new
gosh,
contenders that showed up that like I'm blown away by and like really shook up my top 10.
So,
Hold
so
up.
that's a yes. Okay.
Yeah. Snow Job and Tripwire. These are awesome.
Oh yeah, those are top notch. You're right.
And like
Yeah.
all the stuff they come with, all the accessories,
Yeah.
dude, like you basically can make a whole nother figure with Tripwire, like to have like a bomber with him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
really cool.
These guys are up in the top 5. I call
Which
it
one?
Ham.
So Rick
Ham
has a
cheese.
Black Chrysanthemum and a Hammerhead.
Santos
And
definitely in the
cheese.
conversation. Is that the TVC one or the Black Series one?
Black Series.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
can't
that,
spend $50 on a 3.75 inch chrysanthemum. I can't.
That's true.
he is though. Like I give him credit.
$49.
We
Dan,
gave them
do you
shit for
have-
wax Chrysanthemum, but they knocked it out of the park with the actual
It's
release.
$2 cheaper than the Black Series version. So I'm like,
Yeah.
wow.
Right. Dan, do you have a contender for your favorite figure of the year?
I don't, man. I'd have to sit here and look through my room. have
And
so
check
many
like,
of them
did
this
this come
year.
out this year?
What about
I-
you, John?
I might have to agree with the Snow Job because I mean, yeah, and Tripwire, I mean, those guys were, I mean, Torpedo was up there, the Snow Trooper for Cobra, the Snow Serpent.
No serpent, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, but I mean, if you had to pick one, I think it would be Snow Job. He just the amount of accessories, the way how cool he looks in any hood up, hood down, goggles without goggles, like
I love how
every
miserable.
option.
Yeah, like how if you were sitting out there in the freezing cold all the time, you would look just as miserable as he does, and I love it. Like I thought that
Yeah.
was such a nice touch. And the wind burn
yeah.
around the cheeks with the goggles, you
Yep.
get like the outline of the goggles on his face a little bit, like
And
he's been.
Yeah,
I'm
Is out.
holding out for Snow Job because I'm assuming eventually they'll release his Skidoo.
I was hoping that
Yeah,
like so
yeah.
that's why I slept on both these, and I
The
feel like
polar
other
battle bear, right?
was
Polar
because
battle
these
bear.
were-
That must
Well,
be
I was hoping that what they would do is they would take that snow
G.I. Joe
job
vehicles.
and repaint them to be that action team adventure and pack them with like a Yeti.
There you
Yeah.
go. Yep.
That's what I think.
I was looking at. I want the polar bear that's on the package. They have the polar bear that's like hidden in the background on the package. I was like, oh man, I would love a polar bear. That would be awesome.
That'd be
Like,
cool. Yeah.
give me
A
all
Hunter
the
Yeti would be really cool.
They had a
My
couple
fear-
of fights.
12 animals. Like, give me the 112 animals, man. That'd be a whole line I'd collect if somebody
Here,
made.
I buy a box of animals. Give me
Yeah.
all-
this guy and this head sculpt is probably
That is awesome.
really
Yeah.
close to like my number one figure, if not my number one figure. And
Is
it's
that
really
the one
weird.
that came with a banner?
Yeah, and it's
That's
the
super
new
cool.
face sculpt and everything. I think just looks great.
Yeah, I still need
It's
that
real-
one.
It's really weird that it's a Legends figure too, because I figured like my top figure would be a Joe, but turns out it's probably my top two might be Legends figures.
Chuckles is up there for me too. Chuckles.
Oh,
came with
really?
quite a
Yeah.
lot of stuff, and
I didn't
had-
get the deluxe, so I'm hoping they just do a regular one at somewhere
Yeah.
down the road because I
Hopefully
never could find a deluxe one. I couldn't
Yeah,
find
hopefully
it.
they'll do that.
But I do got to say a contender is you know that elite. What is the elite line for dinosaurs? The for the Jurassic
no
Park
idea.
one.
Don't
What is it
collect
called?
any of those.
The
not,
Hammond.
not the Hammond.
The
or-
Hammond collection, is that what they call
Hammond
it?
cheese.
Hammond or something?
Ham and cheese.
Yeah.
Amber?
There's a Diplodocus, okay, that the Brachiosaurus, sorry, the big dinosaur they see at the beginning of the first movie when they're in the Jeep and it's eating the tree, you know? Like
Brontosaurus?
it's a big Brachiosaurus. The tall
the
plant eater
long
with
neck one.
with
yeah.
the long neck, you know?
Tyrannosaurus Rex?
He's just playing
That
with
was
us
the
now.
big one that was on clearance.
Triceratops?
But they just marked it down.
The
And I bought it.
Paleoanthropus?
I bought it, and I gotta say, like those
Dino-
dinosaurs are just incredible. The
Canopolis?
amount of
Bring it up.
articulation, the way you can move the neck and the tail around and everything without seeing the joints is just incredible. And the
All right,
legs.
well,
I
that
mean,
guy
I
over
would-
there at Creative Beast Studios is not going to be happy that you're not drumming up
It's-
business for him.
it's everything. I mean, those
Anyways.
dinosaurs. If you collect that, just put the movies aside. If you just like to collect dinosaur figures,
Uh-huh.
they are the Hammond collection is
Okay.
there's nothing.
And-
It's
And
incredible.
if you guys thought we were out the woods with the end of the year and not getting stuff, the new wave of Black Series is coming. The new Marvel Legends wave is coming.
Yeah, for you guys
Martin-
pre-ordered.
Mutt and Junkyard are going to be hitting. So the
For all
year's
you
not
folks
done yet with toys. Hasbro's going to get us one last time before the year's over with.
So Mutt
You got
and Junkyard just
Funkasaurus.
shipped. Did they? I don't know if they just. I don't know
They're-
if mine was shipped. I
So
don't
they're
know.
they're in stock on Amazon, but they're listed as shipping between 2 to 4 weeks. So I guess like because of the holiday,
Okay.
they're in stock. Same thing with the Balin and Shin Black Series wave. It's in stock, but it's not shipping yet. And
Gotcha.
the Vision and I don't know who else is in that wave, but Vision that next Marvel Legends wave is in stock too. But they're all listed as like ships within 2 to 4 weeks, but they're in stock. So we'll be getting them fairly
Oh
soon.
yeah, it says now arriving
All
January.
right, so we're
18,
going to wrap up the
previously
show,
expected.
everybody. I just want to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas. You guys want to say anything before we head off instead of not start a whole new conversation now?
Oh, I was hoping to ask one quick question, but I guess I can
That-
wait. I guess it
yeah,
doesn't
no.
matter.
Anyways,
I needed advice on building a display cabinet because I hit a snag and I thought you guys
All
would
right,
be
well,
like,
Hot
appreciate
glue.
everybody
Plenty
joining
of
us.
great ideas on YouTube.
Everybody have a Merry Christmas, and thank you for watching the show and getting this to number 1 and number 2 podcast in the
The number one podcast
in-
that 43 people ever
this is
seen.
I looked it up. This is the number 1 podcast in Gobiki Island
Right.
Oh, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Nice.
Anyways,
Moving on up.
I hope you guys have a really happy holiday and
Be safe. Don't
Yeah.
drink and drive. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
knowing is half the battle.
And make sure you marathon Star Wars on Christmas Day.
all right, or just watch Rebel Moon and you'll get the whole story.
Call your family if you don't see them. Call them.
All right,
Yeah.
guys.
Toys,
Cheers, Ernie.
toys, 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 manly toys, 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 toys.